better communities, and a better future.
At Tyson, we know taste is local. Some like their beef pit smoked, their chicken spiced all the way up, or their pork sweet and saucy. Local flavors, global impact. That's what feeding the world is all about.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
HBCU League Pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU League Pass. It's game time. I'm proud and I love my HBCU. HBCU League Pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU League Pass. It's game time. I'm proud and I love my HBCU.
This is Ryan Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
Are you ready? It's time. The inaugural Urban NerdCon is coming to Montgomery, Alabama, July 29th through the 31st. Blurs, nerds, and geeks from across the universe will converge on the capital city to see celebrity guests such as The Last Dragon, Tymok, Megan Tandy, and voice actor Dave Fennoy.
Hey, how you doing? I'm voice actor Dave Fennoy with a shout out to all my geeks, freaks, and urban nerds. Just want to let you know I'm going to be there and I want to meet you at the Urban NerdCon Gaming and Cosplay event. It's happening July 29th through the 31st in Montgomery, Alabama. Hope you want to meet me as much as I want to meet you.
So join us by visiting theurbannerdcon.net for ticket and vendor information. This will be the premier blurred event in the universe. Theurbannerdcon.net. Our heroes, our villains, our stories, everyone's con. See you there.
afternoon and welcome to the Tyson Foods Black College World Series in Riverwalk Stadium in Montgomery, Alabama, between the winners of the NCAA bracket, the Kentucky State University Thoroughbreds, and the winners of the NAIA bracket, the Edward Waters University Tigers. Brian Fulford and Nick Strong here to call the game this afternoon, and we have watched 12 exciting games of baseball here. Some long nights, but some good baseball all the same, as last night's finals went much longer than anticipated. The matchup between Miles and Kentucky State went for almost a record 4 hours and 26 minutes, which of course delayed the start time for the NAIA finals between Florida Memorial and Edward Waters. So Nick and I were here until, I don't know, sometime around 1:30ish Eastern time. So we've got our chops, though. We're rested up and ready to go. Nick, how you feeling this afternoon?
I'm feeling well, Brian. I mean, last night's game ended at 1:30 Central Time. And because I know that because I told you the record was 1:30, and even Mr. Famble told me he may break that record, and we did by 1 minute.
We did, yes, we
so
did.
we were
That's
there
right.
until 1:30 exactly. You know, so
2:30 Eastern.
Exactly, been 2:30 Eastern. You know, maybe that played a difference in the all Florida matchup while both teams were on Florida time, and we talked about the body factor, the body tiredness, and just being a part of what your daily routine is, and those things play factors. Me and you are in East Coast time now. We both live in Florida, and the teams who played yesterday, they're both in Florida. So, maybe all those things play a factor into the contest.
Yes, indeed. Where Edward Waters had to get here, they were the 2 seed coming into this tournament, and they started out with a 9-6 win over Rusk College, then lost in the semifinals to Florida Memorial 14-1, but they were not deterred as they came back the next night and defeated Rust for a second time, 8-5. And then last night, a little bit of revenge with a 9-8 victory over their in-state rivals, Florida Memorial. For Kentucky State, they pretty much played everybody. They started off with a loss to the number 1 seed, the Albany State Golden Rams, 12-2. Then they found a way to battle back from the losers bracket as the 4 seed. They defeated the 3 seed Bluefield State, the defending champs. Then they had a rematch against Albany State, defeated them 5-2. Then they took on another SIAC rival in Miles in that marathon game last night and defeated them. So here we are, Kentucky State, the 4 seed coming into the tournament. Edward Waters, the 2 seed. Nick, what can we expect from Edward Waters today for them to be successful?
Well, one thing I like to talk about for Edward Waters is I like the fact that they have good chances of getting on while they're leading off an inning. Even the leadoff batter, guys like Kalen Washington, his on-base percentage is out the roof this tournament. Once the leadoff batter for Edward Waters gets on, they're a speedy team. They're crafty. They're kind of scrappy as well to a certain degree. They like to play a little small ball, and then when they're not playing small ball, they can mix it up and they can play action and they can swing it and, slash and things of that nature. Then they do good on the base paths. They do really good, excellent things on the base paths. I'm very astounded about the way they run bases. And lastly, can Coach Johnson manage the bullpen? This being their 5th game in the tournament. What type of things will he do inside his bullpen? Will he go lefty versus lefty? Will he go righty versus righty? Will he leave his pitchers in 2 innings at a time? Depending on what he has down there in the tank, that's going to decide, how his ball game is going to go on the defensive side.
Our own Nicholas Finch had a chance to talk to Coach Reginald Johnson II before the contest, before we came on the air. Let's find out how Coach Johnson is feeling about today's game.
Floor for you guys out of the baseball field, and then using those 3 words in every walk of life, whether it's a classroom, whether it's hanging out with friends, when you get into the real world, you got to have energy, you got to have enthusiasm, you got to bring great effort in everything you do in life. And I spent almost 25 years in professional sports, 9 years with Florida Marlins, got a World Series ring out of 1996, 14 years of Major League Baseball. And people always ask, did you ever play baseball? Nope, couldn't hit a curveball. So I admire what you guys do. My son actually played baseball in high school. Our message I always like to bring on talking athletes. Think about what happens when the game is over. At the pro level, you hear about it. What do these guys do when the career's over?
Okay, well, didn't have Coach Johnson, so apologize for that, and we'll figure out our audio video setup here in a moment. But we'll come back, and before we get to some of the pregame festivities, Nick, why don't we go to talking about Kentucky State and some of their keys to victory for today?
One thing I think that's going to work in Kentucky State's favor is the fact that they get to play this game under NCAA rules. As we know, NCAA, Kentucky State, Edward Waters plays in the NAIA. And in the NAIA, you have things like the courtesy runner for the catcher, and, you can, re-entry, but you can't do that within NCAA rules. So EWU's lineup and their makeup of their team, kind of coincides to the rules that they're able to use. But now Edward Waters can't do as much substituting as they would usually do in a regular NAIA baseball game. So I think Coach Henry has the edge on that, to the fact that, you can't courtesy run for your catcher in this instance, or you can't courtesy run for your pitcher, and you can't re-enter the kids in your baseball game. Kentucky State, this is their 5th game as well, so their bullpen management. I know it's the last game of the year. Backs are against the wall. Everybody can, pretty much throw their arms out and have surgery tomorrow and be back ready for the fall. But, how will he manage his bullpen? And defense. Defense has been an issue for Kentucky State. Later on, since then, it hasn't been an issue. So I think that's one of the strategies and the keys to victory. Can Kentucky State maintain their great defensive play in the rest of the series?
Well, as you can see for our umpires meeting, unlike the other 12 games where we've had just 3 umpires, we have a full 6-man crew. So, Nick, how does that improve or change the game? Not necessarily the strategy, but from a management perspective, how does this change things a bit for today's contest?
Well, one of the things that you like to tell your catcher is, don't let the umpire get too comfortable. No disrespect, but put him in a position to make calls. Put him in a position to possibly, make the wrong call every once in a while. We know it happens, but now they have 6-man crew. They're going to talk about things. You're going to see a lot more meetings today, and they're going to try their best to get calls right. And it looks good. Just look at them down there. You got 6 coaches, 2 coaches. You got 6 umpires, 2 coaches right there. Just something you don't really see often. So, nevertheless, look for these guys to get calls right today. Have a lot of camaraderie out there as umpires, and they'll make sure that the kids are playing baseball the right way.
We have a pair of coaches who have been at their program for almost a decade or over a decade. Reginald Johnson II, a head coach of Edward Waters University, in his 11th season coaching the Tigers as far back as November of 2011. He's proven to be one of the best and most exciting young coaches in college baseball upon his arrival at Edward Waters. At Edward Waters, Johnson made it a priority to bring back student athletes to college that were ready to tackle all the challenges in the classroom and on the field. For Kentucky State, it's Rob Henry. Coach Henry's been at the helm of Kentucky State since 2013. He became the program's all-time wins leader in 2019, while also leading Thoroughbreds to their first winning season since 1988. Somebody will be a national champion today. We will have the introduction of the visiting and home teams here in just a moment, and for that we'll go to our public address announcer who will introduce those players.
First up, the non-starters. Number 3, Caden Hutchinson. Number 6, Bryce Downer. Number 10, Kate Wilson. Number 11, Eric Claudio Jr. Number 12, Isaiah Montez. Number 13, Frank Grimaldi. Number 19, Nolan Davenport. Number 20, John Dominguez. Number 22, Nathaniel Schrimmer. Number 24, Cameron Chastain. Number 25, Joseph Esching. Number 26, Luis Valero. Number 29, Will Valentini. Number 30, Morris James. Number 31, Anthony Bayat. And number 32, Alexander Davila. And now for tonight's starting lineup from the Edward Waters Tigers. Leading off, number 2, the right fielder, Keelan Washington. Batting second, number 1, center fielder, Dayton Pass. Batting third, number 17, the left fielder, DeQuarius Tompkins. Batting fourth, number 15, shortstop, Peyton Schubert. Batting fifth, number 18, the designated hitter, Lionel Garcia. Batting sixth, number 27, the catcher, Anthony Romaine. Batting seventh, number 5, the first baseman, Hugo Schoening. Batting eighth, number 16, third baseman, Adrian Lauro. And batting ninth, number 8, second baseman, John Nobles. The starting pitcher tonight is number 23, Austin James. Edward Waters assistant coaches Ray Otero and Cody Crawford, and head coach Reginald A. Johnson II. The president of Edward Waters University is A. Zachary Faison, and their athletic director is Paul Bryant. And now let's meet the designated Kentucky State Thoroughbreds. First for the non-starters. Number 4, Jalen Anderson. Number 8, Deshaun Herskin. Number 9, Dylan Compton. Number 12, Michael Pedraza. Number 18, Parker White. Number 20, John Michael Etheridge. Number 21, Jacob Thomas. Number 23, Josh Graves. Number 25, Tavon Gibbs. Number 27, Keyshawn White. And now for tonight's starting lineup. Leading off and catching, number 3, Jared Pierce. Batting second, number 22, the center fielder, Kelton Saylor. Batting third, left fielder, number 2, Collier Higgs. Batting fourth, right fielder, number 6, Antonio Chambers. Batting fifth, number 35, the first baseman, Adrian Thompson. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, number 10, Roby Shank. Batting seventh, number 29, the second baseman, Byron Famble. Batting eighth, number 19, third baseman, Daniel Moore. And batting ninth, the shortstop, number 14, Aram Kumar. Starting pitcher for tonight is number 26, Brady Bibbs. Kentucky State is coached by assistant coach Jacob Lagos and head coach Rob Henry. The president of Kentucky State University is Clara Ross Stamps, and their interim athletic director is Ramon Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your caps for the singing of Lift Every Voice and Sing, followed by the Star Spangled Banner. Singing both tonight will be Booker T. Washington Magnet High School Choir.
Everyone should be lined up just like how they are right now. No one watched the All-Star game. You think these kids like baseball? I don't care. We got everybody running around, cleaning they know what they're doing. Cut their mics up. backsides. I tell my kids when they're shooting photos, let's see the coach's backside, the player's backside. That was a quick transition.
And let's meet tonight's umpires. Behind the plate, Anthony Perkins. In left field, Phil Blake. At third base, Quentin Jackson. In right field, B. Smith.
First base?
At first base, Jared Proctor. And second base, Daniel Harris. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming tonight's ceremonial first pitch for the Tyson Foods Black College World Series champion. Joining us this evening is Mayor of Montgomery, Alabama, Stephen Reed.
That was the mayor of Montgomery throwing out the first pitch, and a beautiful rendition of Lift Every Voice and Sing and the national anthem by Booker T. Washington Magnet High School Choir. Those young ladies doing a great job. Brian Fulford and Nick Strong here to bring you today's Black College, Tyson Foods Black College World Series Championship game. Well, Kentucky State is the home team for today, and on the mound for Kentucky State is Brady Bibbs. Brady, the right-hander senior from Hornersville, Missouri. 3-1 record on the season with a 7.76 ERA. Pitched in 53.1 innings. Started 10 of the 11 appearances during the course of the season. Behind the plate, a bit of a change prior to the start for Kentucky State. Jared Pierce will actually be behind the plate and leading off for Kentucky State. On third base is Daniel Moore. The shortstop is Aram Kumar. Second base is Byron Famble. And on first is Adrian Thompson. Out in left field, Collier Higgs. In center, Kelton Saylor. And the right fielder is Antonio Chambers. Leading off for Edward Waters, it'll be right fielder Keelan Washington, followed by center fielder Dayton Pass. Left fielder Dequarius Tompkins. In the cleanup spot is the shortstop Peyton Schubert. Batting DH in fifth is Leonel Garcia. In the sixth spot is the catcher Anthony Roman. First base is Hugo Schuning. Third base is Adrian LaRoe, and the second baseman batting ninth is John Nobles. First pitch. Foul, as Washington, who has definitely been one of the top leadoff hitters in this tournament, rough game. Probably we haven't, as much as we've seen of Washington this year, had a rough go of things yesterday. Ball 2 is outside. One ball and 2 strikes. Correction. The 1-2 pitch by Bibbs. High and away.
And as we get a chance to see Brady Bibbs for the second time during this World Series tournament, he actually started their first game on Wednesday. So Brady Bibbs coming back on 2 days rest. We'll see how long he can go today.
Just missed the outside part of the plate.
Brady Bibbs actually went about 7 innings, if I'm not mistaken, on Wednesday. He got all the way to that inning where they got run-ruled by Albany State. He was out away from finishing the 7th inning.
And Washington is on first after drawing a walk. Dayton pass. Comes up, center fielder. And one of the things that we saw yesterday, Nick, is the importance of being the first at bat. The top half of the inning, the team in the top half of the inning, especially in the 2 championship games, really jumped on their opponent in the first and second innings. So we'll see what Edward Waters, more importantly, we'll see what Kentucky State can do from a pitching and defensive perspective to keep Edward Waters from producing a run here early.
Well, I talked about it in the pregame. You know, the defense for Kentucky State is going to be the issue. But also I talked about it as the leadoff batter for Edward Waters is the key to victory as well. So we just saw Kalen Washington getting on base. So, you know, let's see if Coach Johnson wants to run something in motion here, maybe a hit and run, maybe some small ball to kind of see who can jump on top. Yeah, you're right, Brian. You know, yesterday we had the last 2 games where the opposing team, or excuse me, the visiting team, the team with the lower seed, you know, was able to get the victory. So with that being said, scoring runs first is one of the biggest keys to victory in this contest.
1 ball and 1 strike. Runner is going to throw. Oh, is way behind. He's
going 3.
He sees it. He can go to third. Washington has that throwing error by Pierce ends up in center field, and you can see it when that ball sort of came out of Pierce's hand that it was not going towards second base as it was tailing to the right, heading into the outfield.
So again, just what I was talking about, getting that leadoff runner on base, getting that leadoff hitter on base is the key to victory for the Edward Waters Tigers. Once you get on base, you have a plethora of things that you can do inside of your playbook. And Reginald Johnson just went deep inside, and he made sure his leadoff batter got to third base.
Scored as an E2, so first error of the contest. And pass goes down swinging, so there's the first strikeout of the day for Bibbs.
And Dayton Pass has got to be a little bit better about putting the ball in play, especially with the runner at third base. One thing that I liked right there that went in the favor of Edward Waters, the defense was playing back. They weren't playing in. They weren't trying to cut off the run. However, right there at third base, Mr. Moore was playing in even with the bag, but everybody else was playing back. If he puts that ball in play, Edward Waters jumps on top of the run.
Left fielder DeQuarius Tompkins now. And he's got Keelan Washington 90 feet away from producing the first run of the game, which Washington did last night as well.
Tompkins needs to look fastball, belt high, anything high in the zone right now. His job is just to hit the ball into the outfield. Pop fly, sack fly, gets his guy in. They want to take the lead by any means necessary. Take a look at where the outfielder's playing. There's a big hole in the right field line. If he puts it down there, he may be able to grab 2 bases.
The 2-0 pitch is high, and now the count is 3-0.
Good chance for Tompkins to be swinging right here, Brian, believe it or not. Just to get a pitch built high in the outfield, anywhere they can score a run right here is what you need.
You would encourage him to swing
I
away?
sure would.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about it because that one was way outside, enough for him to take his base. Second walk of the inning
There is no rule in baseball that says you have to take on 3-0. That is an unwritten rule that will not help you sometime, that you may want to start, coaches may want to start understanding more about what 3-0 actually means. 3-0 means that the pitcher just threw 3 pitches that weren't strikes.
Love how you keep it simple. And sometimes it is a simple game. I think it sometimes gets overcomplicated.
Yeah, I learned that from my producer, Mel.
Peyton Schubert, shortstop, in the box. Let's see if Coach Johnson sends Tompkins, who's over on first.
Well, I don't know if you want to send Tompkins right here in this situation. Tompkins doesn't have the best of speed, and you don't want to give up an out right here. You can play for 2 early on.
He's got a nice lead off of that first base bag, though.
Yeah, but he's just trying to maybe draw the catcher off sides a little bit, is what we call it here. Just kind of give him some action, let him know he's over there. If he goes, I'd be surprised.
2-0 count now, so.
And you don't want to get picked off here either.
Bibbs struggling to throw strikes. There's a ball that's lifted. There's a high pop up. Let's see who's coming over to field that. It'll be the third baseman. Daniel Moore comes over to field that.
Not a good AB right here for Schubert, but also not a good inning right here for the Tigers. They've had 2 runners on base with less than 2 outs. This is a situation where you have to put a ball in play and you got to score some runs. This may be a missed opportunities for EWU.
Leonel Garcia, the DH. Now, Bibbs 1 out away from getting out of this inning.
And Garcia kind of looking to play defense right here in the batter's box instead of playing offense. I know it's 2 outs. I know you kind of want to have some protective swings up there, but you can still be aggressive. You got 9 innings of baseball to play here today. 9.
Slap towards the second baseman. Should be an easy play over to first. Bit high, but a nice job there by
2 runners left on base. Not going to get it done today for the Tigers.
No, it will not. No runs, no hits. 1 error, though. 2 runners left on the base pads. We head to the bottom half of the first. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
At Tyson, we know taste is local. Some like their beef pit smoked, their chicken spiced all the way up, or their pork sweet and saucy. Local flavors, global impact. That's what feeding the world is all about.
We're opening the door to better financial services, better experiences, better partnerships, better technology, better communities, and a better future.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Austin James will take his place on the mound for Edward Waters. James, 1-1 on the season with a 6.85 ERA. Pitched 22.1 innings this year. Started 2 games of his 13 appearances. Leading off for Kentucky State, it'll be Jared Pierce playing as the catcher today instead of normally the DH spot. Behind him will be Kelton Saylor, center fielder, and Collier Higgs, the left fielder. Batting cleanup, Antonio Chambers, the right fielder.
Want to say hello to everybody out there on the live chat today. We've had some really good fan support tuning in, checking out the broadcast, some nice interaction. We've had interaction from all types of people.
Are they people, though? the way we can find out is if they're actually people, hit that thumbs up button wherever you're watching us. On YouTube, hit that thumbs up, like button. If you're watching us on Facebook, hit that thumbs up as well.
We've got some scores out there for you to follow and some people who've kind of...
Easy 4-3 from ball hit right to John Nobles. Kelton Saylor comes to the plate now. Saylor had a great day yesterday at the plate. Try to pull up his numbers from yesterday here in just a moment.
Lil Rexy, Donetta Moore. Everybody's going at it inside the chat.
Saylor was 4 for 6 yesterday, scoring 3 times, had 1 RBI, and walked once.
And Saylor's actually a switch hitter as well. I actually like him better from the left-hand side, but we'll see what he can do right here from the right side. Infield's playing back for the Edward Waters Tigers. I'd like to see maybe him show a little bunt right here, maybe pull it back and draw the defense off sides a little bit.
2 balls and 1 strike from James to Saylor. Pitch is high and away, ball 3. Saylor looking to get on base here. The 3-1 pitch. Ball 4.
There you go. Good job, Saylor, getting on base and just kind of being patient up there, understanding that, James hasn't pitched all week. This is his first time inside the World Series, so, maybe some jitters, maybe some jitterbugs pitching in the whole national championship game. You just never know.
Left fielder Collier Higgs comes to the plate for Kentucky State.
Higgs has been a good 3-hole hitter this week. Putting the ball in play, not striking out very much, just kind of making sure runners are being moved over. He's done a good job at that. There's a hole between the first baseman and the second baseman. The middle infield kind of playing up the middle a tad bit. I like to try to see that second baseman maybe cheat over towards the pool side with Higgs being a 3-hole hitter. I know you kind of preach up the middle, don't play depth, but sometimes you just got to play the hitter instead of playing baseball or the traditional baseball rules.
Caught the bottom part of the strike zone, low and inside, right around the knees for strike 1.
The Padres do a good job of that, not playing traditional baseball. Fernando Tatis, Manny Machado. It's just the MLB way.
Low and inside, ball 2 to Higgs, the leader in terms of batting average for Kentucky State during the course of this season. Batted .376 in the regular season. Inside, now he's looking at a 3-1 count here.
Yeah, James can't find the strike zone right here on Higgs, so Higgs will be taken all the way right here. 3 straight balls. He may just want to play his numbers, play the percentages.
The 3-1 pitch. Ball driven to right field. Washington comes over, cleans it up.
Sometimes they don't listen to us up here, the color announcers and the play-by-play guys. They just kind of do their own thing down there.
What do those guys know? They don't know. We're up here with Texas Southern standout Nick Strong up here.
You forgot the SWAC champion.
SWAC champion, yep. And that should come first. SWAC champion and standout for Texas Southern Nick Strong.
NCAA regional appearances as well.
Okay. Make sure I get them all right now.
We actually got a win in the NCAA regional.
There you go. Antonio Chambers, runners going.
He's safe.
Yeah, that's Saylor showing just a good jump.
We actually defeated the #1 overall seed that year. Really? The defending national champions. Not to brag, but also the last HBCU to win an NCAA regional game was actually
your team?
No, you just mentioned it before we got on air, but it was Jackson State when they beat Louisiana Lafayette some years ago. That was about 2014. And actually, I think Southern won a couple of years ago as well. Excuse me if I'm not mistaken. I don't want to, take anything away from the Jaguars.
2 balls, no strikes here. Austin James pitching for Edward Waters. decides to go to. Now, we talked about that move. I didn't see him throw the ball.
Well, he doesn't have to throw the ball. He just has to make a lazy attempt that he actually reached over there, and it's crazy.
I didn't see him do that.
Yeah, I know, but okay. So again, that may not be it may not be an NCAA rule. I'm not sure. I don't know the NCAA rules too tight. I'm an NAIA guy. I think NAIA has the better of the two.
James struggling to throw strikes right now. 3-0. And there's ball 4.
Yeah, and I wish that's what Hicks could have done last at bat as well. Just kind of be a little bit more patient. You don't have to swing at everything you see right here. And actually, when he swung at that, it was only a runner on first. It wasn't like it was a runner at second and third. So, I just think the approach is a little different. You want to try your best to get a runner to second base.
Adrian Thompson, the first baseman, comes to the plate with 2 runners aboard. Of course, when we think about memorable moments in this World Series, we'll think about Thompson's solo home run in the top of the 12th inning to put Kentucky State into the NCAA final game.
Yeah, you mean the one that went to the second train track back there?
Yes, that one. Quite a few balls have been hit to left field. I don't think we have seen anything go to center. We haven't seen anything go to right. So,
no, not at all. But that's what Thompson can do too. He can he's kind of got sneaky power. He doesn't really just. I know he's a bigger guy, but he doesn't really show that he has pop like that. You got to really serve him up one in his wheelhouse, and he'll take it as far as he can. Like that right there. If he gets a hold to that ball, it might go. It may go.
Now, I don't know if you saw that. It said that pitch was 101.
Well, that may have been his swing was 101 miles per hour.
Okay, yeah. Well, see, now anything's 99 miles per hour. So we have no idea what our what the speedometer is.
He could be throwing 99. It could be 99 kilometers. It could be kilometers.
Back down to 83. So
let's ask Craig Ray if Craig Ray can kind of take a look and see. Craig Ray, how fast do you think? No, let's not ask Craig because he's a Kentucky State guy. Let's ask Lil Rexy if he thinks he knows how fast Austin James is throwing right now. Let's see if you can time it up for us, buddy.
Deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Pitch to the plate. Painted the lower part of the strike zones. So credit that strike there as Adrian Thompson goes down looking. So 2 runners left on. No runs, no hits, no errors. We head to the second inning. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show. Welcome back to the top of the second inning. Leading off for Edward Waters, the catcher, Anthony Roman.
I got a chance to, catch up with Anthony Roman after the game last night, just kind of talk to him a little bit. He said, this is a long tournament. He's really got to stay conditioned for this. He's been catching all 4 games. He's caught all 4 games so far. So this is just a time when, it's the last game of the season where everything is on the line. That's just what type of player he is. He's going to put it all out there for you.
There's a ball that's hit toward the right. That might drop, and it does.
He should be on two.
Diving right fielder on that play is Antonio Chambers. Probably should have stayed on his feet instead of diving for that, but I never question a young man's effort. Just good for him that ball did not go all the way to the wall as it kind of died after it hit the ground. So credit Roman with a double there, a leadoff double. And Edward Waters, once again, has a runner in scoring position.
Good camera shot on that. I like the way they got the outfield there. I was able to kind of see what was going on out there. And for the second inning in a row, the leadoff person gets on base for the Edward Waters Tigers, So last time, 2 missed opportunities right there, 2 runners left on base. This time they have to connect. So let's kind of see, what they go to, how they're going to play this. I like to see something, whatever it is, you got to get the runner from second to third or second to home.
Number 5, Hugo Schoening. That ball looked like it wanted to get away, but Pierce did a good job of keeping it in front of him.
Now we asked, Lil Rexy how fast he thought his pitcher was throwing. Now I want to ask some Kentucky State fans, how fast is your pitcher throwing?
Schoening, a freshman from Orange Park, Florida. Haven't seen him in the lineup in the previous couple of games here, so.
Usually in tournament play you can only bring about 25 people. So usually a coach might break that down to maybe 12 pitchers, 13 hitters, sometimes 12 hitters, 13 pitchers. Just depending on you don't want to have a lot of options in this instance. You want to give your kids a chance, and you want to be patient with them. This is why they're here. They've worked all year for this moment. And to make adjustments after 1 game and maybe even 2, that just wouldn't be the game. That just wouldn't be baseball for right now. This is about letting your guys play. They're going to come around. They have chances.
3 balls and 1 strike. Brady Bibbs trying to keep Tiger runners off the base pad. That pitch is painted on the outside part of the plate. Strike 2, and got a full count here.
Yeah, I don't mind that take right there. Not what Schoening wanted. Something on the outside half, and he was kind of back in the box. So right now he's kind of up on the plate now. So kind of look for maybe something inside from Brady Bibbs so that he won't be able to extend the hands. First base and second base hole is open again. The second baseman is kind of tight towards the bag, trying to hold the runner on. Famble is going to have to get back to that hole.
The 3-2 pitch and swinging was Schoening, and he goes down on the second strike out of the afternoon. Adrian LaRoe, the third baseman, now will come to the plate with 1 aboard and 1 out.
Anthony LaRoe, a streaky hitter, contact guy though, likes to put the ball in play. There's the pickoff. There's the action that we were looking for. And that's why Famble was playing closer towards the bag at second base. Now he's going to go back a little further towards that hole now that they've already picked off over to that place, over to that base rather.
First pitch is fouled off.
Good job right there to get on top. Brady Bibbs, again, not sure how long he's going to go today, but he threw about 6 innings on Wednesday, at least 6 innings, and he threw to 2 batters, I believe, in the 7th inning. So, somewhere around at least 80, 85 pitches on Wednesday. Not sure. I don't know if he wants to go maybe over 40, 50, maybe a couple of innings for him.
Right at first baseman, Thompson, and he cleanly fields it and steps on the bag.
And that's what I meant by LaRoe, putting the ball in play. Just putting it somewhere so that the defense can't get that runner going from second to third. Now you got a runner at third with 2 outs again. I hope it's not a missed opportunity here for the Tigers, because I would have really liked to see them score early on.
So Roman advances over to third. And the 9-hitter, John Nobles, second baseman, hit his first home run of the season last night. And there he drives the ball into the left center field gap, bringing home a run. So a good piece of hitting on the first pitch by John Nobles. Edward Waters is on the scoreboard first.
Yeah, good job right there by Nobles to continue his presence on the offensive side of the baseball, just finding something that he can drive something up. Again, you didn't want to maybe pop anything up too high because you won't get the sacrifice RBI with 2 outs, but something that you can drive, which is what he did. He drove the pitch. He hit the pitch where it was pitched, right there into the left center field gap. Great job by Nobles to grab their first RBI of the day.
Keelan Washington comes up.
And he's going right off the back. Not a good throw there.
Not a good throw at all. Again, we haven't seen Pierce as the catcher in any of the 3 previous games that... Am I wrong on that? We haven't seen Pierce as the catcher in any of the 3 previous games for Kentucky State, so...
Yeah, Pierce is back under saddle today. He had Schmuck. How do you pronounce his name? You had Schmuck out there yesterday, catching the games. So with that being said, you can't have your catcher out there every day. It's a lot on his knees. So yes, he has had the previous 2 games off, due to, just being a catcher. That's just the breaks of the game. I have a system where, when you have a 3-game set or a doubleheader, I never like my catcher to catch in a doubleheader 2 games in a row. It won't happen. That's why in the college baseball game, 2 catchers, you can kind of make it through a season with 2, and then you can also have a guy who can play catcher as well. The third guy maybe in a secondary position like a first base or an outfield or something like that. So, most of these teams are making it through the season with 2. They can have 3 if need be.
2 balls and 1 strike to Washington. He lifts the ball to right.
That might be.
Chambers going to the fence. It's going off the wall. Rolling towards the bullpen. Washington going around second hard. Runner came in. Sliding triple for Keelan Washington. Edward Waters has their second run on the board.
We talked about it. That right field fence has not been challenged yet here in the World Series. But one thing I like about Keelan Washington, he has power to the left side, and definitely he has power over to the pool right side. Good job by him to find something up, knowing that Brady Bibbs isn't throwing hard as, I don't think he's throwing hard as what Mr. Famble might say he's throwing, high 70s right now. Bibbs had an out in 6 innings the other day, and you have to wonder, is that affecting his performance today on the baseball field? Great job there by Keelan Washington to get his team on the board with another run for the inning. Great job, Tigers.
2-0 lead for Edward Waters now. And Keelan Washington again finds himself 90 feet. There's a ball that's hit right towards the shortstop, Kumar. And so the inning ends, but not before Edward Waters puts 2 runs up with 3 hits. No errors, 1 runner left on base. We head to the bottom half of the second inning. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Mobile banking from Truist actually works for you. It gives you simple, smart, personalized insights to keep you one step ahead. Because we think that's the kind of control you deserve over your money. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. Truist. Download the mobile app now.
the DH, Roby Shank, steps in for Kentucky State. It'll be Shank, Famble, and Moore, the 6, 7, 8 hitters in the lineup, followed by Aram Kumar batting cleanup should somebody get on base.
Well, one thing you want to do right here is you want to answer those 2 runs made by Edward Waters. So if I'm Coach Henry right here, I'm going to play for the 2 instead of playing for the 1 right here.
1 ball, 1 strike.
And what I mean when I say play for the 2, you maybe let something build up a little bit, maybe not go small when you get that runner at first base. Maybe let something build up, get runners at first and second, maybe first and third, and then maybe run some offense.
1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitch to Shank. Caught him looking. Strike 3.
If Shank is going to crowd that plate, I'm going to need him to make sure he's swinging those balls on the inside half. You know, you got to get your hands on the inside of the baseball, and that's what a lot of hitters teach. That's what a lot of hitting coaches teach. You know, keeping those hands inside the baseball. So if the pitch is going to come inside, especially from a lefty, you've got to be able to understand how to hit lefties when they come inside.
Second consecutive strikeout for Austin James. Now batting for Kentucky State, Byron Famble. Big cut on first pitch.
And speaking of Famble, I definitely want to shout out to his dad. He's not only watching the game, but he's in the stadium watching the game and listening to us. You know, it's kind of like when you go to the old baseball games or basketball games growing up, or the hockey games, or the soccer games. In your case, you like the MLS a lot.
Whoa.
You know, you get to go into the stadium with your radio on, with your head. Yeah, I mean, you guys got soccer in Indiana now, right?
No,
no, yo, you don't.
There's
Okay,
a ball
I
that
didn't know.
hit
I thought
the
you meant had
second
soccer there.
baseman, bobbles it a little bit. And Nobles was unable. It looked like he had it cleanly, and then all of a sudden, right as he was trying to gather it out of his glove, never quite got a grip on it. Ends up being, I would guesstimate, E4. It is.
That's no guesstimation. That is going to be an E4. And if you're the second baseman right there in that case, and if you're the second baseman, Nobles, you've got to come up with that play. Famble, you know, has really good speed over there on the base paths, and that's the guy that you don't want on the base paths.
Daniel Moore comes to the plate now with a runner on.
All right. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't know you guys didn't have a soccer team. But when you go to the Indy 500 and you take your, you know, headsets and you want to listen to Indianapolis Motor Speedway radio, I mean, you want to know when Al Unser Jr. is passing by Mario Andretti, don't you?
I love your references because you're throwing names from the 1990s of my youth, and I'm like, come on now.
Well, how old are you? I mean, I know you're about 38, 39. I know you remember Al Unser Jr.
I do. Back over to first goes James. Got to give a shout out to Danette Moore, representing for her son at the plate here, number 19, Daniel Moore.
Benton Harbor, Michigan, right?
And the runner's going.
Got him.
And slides in. Got him.
I kind of like the way he tagged right there. One thing that he did right there, although Famble went in front of the bag, which is not a bad move, the second baseman still stayed true to the game, and he was able just to maybe stay in the path and get Famble on the backside. You know, sometimes it's not about tagging him at the bag. It's about tagging him when you see the ball. Getting the ball and just dropping the glove down wherever he is. That way you get the quickest point to the baseball.
The 2-1 pitch is fouled off by Moore. It's a nice throw by Roman and a nice tag there by Nobles. So Nobles able to sort of make up for it a little bit. Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and down goes Moore swinging. And so the side is retired with 2 of the 3 on strikes. Coming up, no runs, no hits. 1 hit, excuse me. No error. Actually, 1 error, no hits. We'll get it straight here coming up. Coming up in the top of the third, we're going to speak to the chairman of Tyson Foods, Mr. John Tyson. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
We're all about feeding your family with meat and plant-based protein that's good for the planet, good for you, and just plain good. That's all the protein you need, all on your plate.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
Meet Jessica Moore. Jessica was born to care. She always had your back. Like the time she spotted the neighbor kid, an approaching car, a puddle, and knew there was going to be a situation.
That's my best friend. She don't need no lift, drive her own car.
Miss Hogan's class?
Yeah, it's Atlantis.
Nice. I don't think they had camels in Atlantis.
Really? Today, she's a teammate at Truist, the bank that starts with care. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank.
Am I talking with you or talking
both of us?
Both of us.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. It's a pleasure to be joined in the booth right now by the chairman of Tyson Foods and our title sponsor here, the Tyson Foods Black College World Series, Mr. John Tyson. Mr. Tyson, pleasure to have you in the box, and thank you and everyone at Tyson Foods for being a major part of this Black College World Series. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I mean, if you can't do good on a day like this, you don't deserve to be here. You know it?
Absolutely.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Amen. As we have coming up for Edward Waters here, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, of course, Aquarius Tompkins, followed by Peyton Schubert and Leonel Garcia. So, Mr. Tyson, why don't you tell us a little bit about Tyson Foods and how Tyson Foods came to be a part of this, and why was it so important to actually be a part of this event?
Well, I'm a third generation Tyson in the business. I'm a real lucky guy. The good Lord's blessed me. We got 140,000 team members, and our team members participate in communities everywhere. And when this situation, they discovered it, they looked at it and go, well, why is somebody not supporting this group of young men and young athletes to succeed at, chasing their dream? And I was talking to Michael, the gentleman that you kind of put the ideal together, he said what he discovered was that at the end of the conference season, the kids didn't have anything to play for. The conference tournament's over with, they don't have anything. And with this event, the kids can go into their conference tournament. They've got something to play with. They got that last effort to play before a lot of these young men, it will be their last level of playing at this kind of competition, and to create an environment, they get that one last chance. Can I win it all? Can I get the big trophy? Can I come celebrate? And with that, it became, the right, not only the right thing to do. As I told Michael, we're just honored to be his partner.
What are you liking so far today? What have you seen just from a baseball standpoint? And I mean, looks like you got to know an arm. Looks like you play a little baseball yourself, but just talk a little bit about what you've seen today from a baseball standpoint.
Well, myself and Coach Musselman and Jonathan Mariner, who's on my board of directors, he used to be the CFO, and he's going to come on the air here in a little bit. A chance to talk to each one of the teams, to share the different perspectives. Jonathan never played baseball at the level, but he said to the young men, if you don't play, well, there's a lot of other avenues to stay around the sport.
Bingo.
You can go into management, you can go into operations, you go into promote. He talked about the different experiences available to stay connected to the game or connected to the sport, and the discipline of sports to give you a chance to be who you want to. And of course, Coach Musselman, talked about the requirements of discipline and focus to make you as good as you can. And then I shared some of my stories that I learned growing up about how you got to pay attention to details and take care of your folks.
What was your sport? Or were you a multi-sport athlete? Or besides baseball, what was the sport that you cut your competitive teeth on?
Well, I back when I grew up, we played all sports. You never got
absolutely.
You played every one of them. You played football, and you went to basketball, then you went to track, then you went to baseball. I enjoyed baseball. I played baseball through age 15. But I settled in on basketball and enjoy the game and played pretty good. We had a pretty good high school. We were in one of the top conferences in Arkansas and played pretty good basketball. So enjoy it, and then got the University of Arkansas there that's played really great basketball. We got to see the Nolan Richardson years.
Oh yeah.
And watching Nolan coach the kids, and he's a great guy. And Nolan's 80 now, and he comes to the games, and then watch what Coach Muss has done with these kids and how he organizes and the level of company. And then when we're finally back to playing football in Arkansas, after a while,
Yep.
So speaking of Arkansas, and I know you said Coach Musselman, a heck of a run this year by Arkansas. I just saw this amazing viral video of somebody in Arkansas that wrestled a raccoon. I don't know if you've seen that yet, but somehow a raccoon that got into the state. Somebody needs to hire that young man who wrestled that raccoon and literally almost like the Lion King and had him. I mean, it was a big raccoon.
It was a big raccoon.
It was about as big as me, and I was a little scary.
But I understand that, unfortunately, the raccoon got the last revenge.
Oh, wow.
He nipped him.
Oh, wow.
That's not good for that guy.
No, it's not good for that guy. But when you think about trying to create an event like you all are creating and like what's being pulled together by the city of Montgomery and the opportunity that when people play this sport and they're going through their freshman and their sophomore year, and maybe some of these young men get seen, they go into the portal and they go up to Division I baseball, some of those things might start to happen as other schools come to look, that they get to chase that dream, and get to complete the dream of I played hard, I got to the World Series, and we just didn't win it, but I got there.
Right. What are some of the programs or initiatives that Tyson's involved in the communities where you said you had 140,000 team members? And I love the use of the word team members instead of employees. It really brings it home in that environment to say that together everyone achieves more. And so it kind of makes everyone feel a part of something.
Well, I remember a long time ago what my dad told me. He said, son, your responsibility is to make sure everybody that works for us in the family gets paid on Friday. Then you can get paid on Monday. And if you ever get that out of order, you're not thinking about your team members.
Yes, sir.
So some of the things we've done recently, we just announced free college. So anybody that works for us can go free to college through a program. Junior college, technical college, you can get your master's, you can finish your bachelor's. So there's no barrier with money. So the barrier might be time. So I take a course, in the fall, take spring off, take a course, the next fall, but you don't have to say, well, I borrowed $1,000 and I haven't paid that off and I can't go again. So we announced that 2 or 3 weeks ago for anybody that works for us. It's totally free, and it's up to you to what you want to do. We've got the other initiative because when COVID started and we were trying and taking care of it, we had to print COVID instructions in 64 languages in our plants.
Okay.
That is the diversity, that's the immigration in our plants that come from different places. So a lot of people come to our country and they're talented people, but their primary barrier is the language. So until they learn the language, until they get started, they'll start, then they'll move on off into the community. For me and my generation, and you think of the Legacy Museum over there, the Vietnam War.
Yep.
So a lot, when they started to come out of Saigon, they landed at Fort Chaffee, which is about 60 miles away. We've got granddaughters and grandsons of that generation are now lawyers and running their own businesses around town. But when mom and dad had to get on that plane and get out, they came and started working in and around our plants. Then they went into opening up grocery stores and businesses, and the next generation. So we see that place for people to get started. And how we can create an environment for their success is our responsibility.
I know if this TV thing doesn't work out for me, Nick, I'm going to have to get my graduate degree. I might have to go apply for a job at Tyson Foods.
Always looking for talent. Absolutely. Always looking for talent.
Sir. Yes, sir. All right.
But we're glad to be here, and it's an honor to work with the city of Montgomery and work with the mayor and the chamber and to Michael, who put this thing. He'd been thinking about it 7 or 8 years, he told me. And he almost had it put together when COVID and what can become of this. It's got a foundation. It's in a good place. And as I shared with him, we're just thankful that they accepted us to be their partner.
Yes, well, there's no finer man and no finer representative of baseball, HBCU baseball, than Michael Coker. I've had a pleasure of knowing him for now 3 years, and I've fallen back in love with baseball thanks to guys like Michael Coker and this young man right here, Nick Strong, great coach, great commentator as well. So thank you for being a part of it, and I know you'll be a part of this for at minimum the next couple of years. So as this event grows, and we look forward to more and more opportunities to talk with you.
Well, Thank you. On behalf of the 140,000 Tyson team members, we thank you all. We're glad to be a small part of it, and it's fun to watch the young kids play some baseball. And there's some pretty good baseball going on.
Absolutely.
And you love the celebrations when they get a hit.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the guy hit the triple a moment ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did all this.
Yeah.
I saw that, yeah.
That's great. Great.
So as we have folks watching from all over the country, all over the world, probably, how can they reach out and find the nearest Tyson office or plant and be a part of your team? How can they do that?
Well, it would be TysonFoods.com.
Okay.
And, you know, I have an email address. It's a public address, john.tyson@tyson.com. I answer my own emails. I might get a few, you know, but we'll make sure they get to the right people.
Free college.
I love that.
Free college.
Yes, hey,
Yeah.
you know, folks out there listening,
Yeah.
take advantage while you can.
Take advantage while you can.
All right.
Appreciate it. Thank you all for having me in your booth. Thank you for letting me be part of it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And we'll have a good day.
Yes, sir.
Come see us in Arkansas.
Absolutely. Well, we sure will. Trust me.
Yeah, come watch some basketball with us and stuff like that.
Woo Pig Suey.
Woo
Yes,
Pig
yes,
Suey.
indeed. I look
All
forward
right.
to it. All right. Again, Mr. John Tyson, chairman of Tyson Foods and title sponsor here of the Black College World Series. Yes, indeed.
University of Arkansas guy.
Yes, indeed.
SEC time. My
And,
Tigers
yeah,
lost to Arkansas by 1 point back in 1995.
Hey, look, some wonderful memories. And again, if you have not seen the viral video of the baseball game with the Arkansas fan who caught the raccoon that just somehow was just in the bleak. I mean, I can't even describe. I know if you go to my Twitter feed at DRB365, I've tweeted it there, and there's a scene in that viral video, Nick, where there's a lot of people doing a lot of things as the guy who grabs the raccoon is holding it up, and there's one person in particular who just falls over themselves, and I'm just thinking, you know, that's me in that kind of situation. So let's try to catch back up here, of course, in the top half of the third. Edward Waters went down in order. Two of the three batters, Tompkins and Garcia, went down on strikes. Now here we have two runners aboard for Kentucky State. It's Kelton Saylor on the plate, at the plate. Jared Pierce, who walked previously, actually the last two batters have walked, Aaron Kumar and Jared Pierce. So no outs here. Bottom of the third. There's a ball that's driven towards center. Kumar hesitated, and he'll hold at third. Not sure if he thought the shortstop was behind him, but he paused, and I think had he been going full speed, he might have given a shot. But hey, with no outs, why even try it? So,
well, one of the things that he may have saw, one of the things that he didn't do was he didn't look behind to see how close or how far his outfield was playing him. What does that mean? If I'm the runner at second base, I need to know wherever a ball is hit. I need to know when that ball is hit and where it's hit. I need to know if there's a defender that's going to be close to the ball or far from the ball. And he didn't do that. So when he got off the bag, he had to look and see if the guy was going to catch or not. Had he took a pick beforehand, maybe he's rounding third right now, scoring home, but Coach Henry held him up coming around third.
That's the first hit of the day for Kentucky State. Bases are loaded now. Collier Higgs flied out to right field in his last at-bat. Pitch low in the dirt.
Collier Higgs with a chance to maybe tie this game up at 2 or take the lead, or at least grab one run right here. You want to put the ball in play with no outs, bases loaded. You can't have a missed opportunity here. The offensive side of the baseball is where this game will be won today, especially with the bullpens working early. As you can see, Edward Waters has a member of the bullpen staff, of the pitching staff in the bullpen right now.
Shout out to Mrs. Coach Henry. That's, I believe, Tricia Henry, possibly, I'm going to assume, wife of Kentucky State head coach. And, yes, I would do anything. Make sure you're an advisor. She says she's an advisor. Definitely let students know about the opportunities at Tyson Foods, TysonFoods.com. For those of you who might have come in late or maybe stepped away during the interview with Mr. John Tyson, great opportunities there being put forward by that company, that organization. We're ecstatic to have them as a title sponsor of this event. That ball is lifted.
That's going to get the job done.
Center field, left field comes over. A bit of a trip there. Runners are going to advance. Well, actually, the runner Kumar on third advances. The second base runner Pierce advances over to third. First base stays put.
I'm okay with the runner at third scoring. Great job. I'm okay with the runner from second getting to third, but I'm not okay with the runner from first not advancing to second. I like a one-tag type ball. I like a one-tag, all-tag type of offense. You've got to understand that when that left fielder out there went for that ball, when he made that catch, he was going to be off balance. So he was not going to be able to make an accurate throw to any bag. You have to recognize that as a base runner. Great job by Kentucky State's own Collier Higgs getting the RBI, though.
You know, a little confusion there in left field between Tompkins and Pass.
Yeah.
Something that I have seen a lot here this week is the communication between outfielders.
Well, yeah, let's not get it twisted. They got the out. We definitely need it out. I mean, they definitely need it out. However, I would like to see the center fielder taking that ball. He has priority out there in the outfield, and he has the better angle on the ball coming through the bag, or excuse me, catching the ball and throwing the ball to third base. I don't want to see the left fielder throwing on the back leg trying to get the ball to third base in that case.
Well, and I only bring that up because we've averted the big collision, and you know that's something that when you see these very close calls, we haven't seen the collision, and thankfully we haven't seen it. But I tell you, there have been some very close calls with outfielders, and I'm always curious about the communication. I know that's something that's supposed to happen. 2 balls and 1 strike to Antonio Chambers. He takes, and it's now ball 3.
I see 79 people on this broadcast tonight. I'm going to have to see 79 chats come through. And let me know who you're supporting, where you're from, what county you're from, what city you're from. Who's your baby out there? Who's your nephew? Who's your grandson? Make sure you type in the chat for us.
I may have to block Jeremiah Clark here. You leave me alone.
Oh, Jeremiah's been good, man. Jeremiah's been good, man. He's got the YouTube videos. He's got the YouTube tutorial coming up soon.
He's going to be trolling me after.
He's got the YouTube tutorial coming up.
Double header.
So. No, he's a good guy, man. He's a good guy.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner, tie runner is 90 feet away. Runner on first is going. Tried to time that up. Great jump there by Saylor. Antonio Chambers walked in his previous at-bat.
Jeremiah, when you get those YouTube tutorials, man, let me know, man, so I can make my guest appearance in them. Here we go. All right, there's everybody coming through. I like it.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
Q-Dog.
1 out. The pitch by James. He goes back over to first.
You know, if you keep worrying about the runner at first, that runner at third is going to get in on you. I don't know if you want to keep picking off the first or the runner at third. The last thing you want to do is have that ball get in the first base bullpen area and let that runner score from third and let the runner at first go all the way to third base. Austin James needs to worry about the batter right here. That run at first isn't a big deal right now.
Full count to Chambers. Swinging. Down goes Chambers.
And that's why he isn't a big deal.
That's the 4th strikeout for James. So 2 away now. Adrian Thompson comes to the plate. He struck out his last at-bat. Tying run. 90 feet away on third base. Another throw.
Jared Pierce keeps getting, his lead keeps getting longer and longer as Austin James picks over the first base. Watch Jared Pierce right here the next time he picks the first base. You may even think about sending Saylor off first movement if he picks off.
Thompson, there's a pop-up going towards the Edward Waters dugout, and nice effort there by Schoening. Had to kind of navigate between the tarp and teammates and just stuff over there in that bullpen area.
Yeah, Schoening's get the first base start today over Ethan Montez. Excuse me, over Montez at first base. Excuse me. Ethan Montez played for my team about 4 years ago.
Catch these last names, and then all of a sudden you start thinking about people you know from back in the day.
Coach Brad Shelton on the call today. There's Pierce. He's getting a little quicker and quicker. Coach Brad Shelton on the broadcast today on the chat. Head coach at the University of Columbia of the Cumberlands in Kentucky. Not to be confused with Cumberland University in Tennessee. Two good, strong, powerhouse NAIA baseball programs.
The 0-1 pitch to the plate. There's a
and NCAA baseball, yeah.
Bit high. Good contingent of folks for Edward Waters and Kentucky State in the chat rooms. Just on YouTube. I'm sure equally as well on
Got to check the Facebook Live. That's right. Got to check the Facebook Live chat. I'm sorry for all you guys on Facebook Live chat. I'm sorry I haven't been able to. I mean, Brian told me not to get on my phone during the broadcast, but I'm going to have to break that. I'm going to have to disobey him right now.
2 balls and 1 strike, 2 outs here, 2 runners aboard.
I think Pierce goes.
Thompson takes that pitch. It's low. Oh, no. Called strike on that. So
if James picks over to first base, Pierce comes home next time. Watch him.
Deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners aboard. He goes back over to first.
Sorry about that. And that why you told me not to get on my phone?
I did.
Well, I'm sorry.
Facebook doesn't have its own self muting.
Well, I wanted to get over here because Miss Valerie Crimes is over here. Evelyn Marie Sanders, Toya Famble Thompson, and Wes Jones. They're all on the live chat on Facebook. Want to make sure I shout them out.
2-2, 2 outs. Pitch to the plate. Big cut, swinging miss, and down goes Thompson for the 5th strikeout of the day for Austin James. We head to the top of the 4th. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
At Tyson, we know taste is local. Some like their beef pit smoked, their chicken spiced all the way up, or their pork sweet and saucy. Local flavors, global impact. That's what feeding the world is all about.
We're opening the door to better financial services, better experiences, better partnerships, better technology, better communities, and a better future.
Five-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Five-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
Welcome back to the top of the fourth inning. Roby Shank followed by Byron Famble and Daniel Moore. Let's go down to the field where our own Nicholas Finch is in the dugout. Nick, what do you have for us, sir?
All right, Coach Henry, Nick Finch with you. You scored, finally got a run across in bottom of that last inning. Talk about what you've seen from Eric Waters has kept you to just one run so far.
Well, their pitcher's done a good job pitching around, free bases. He's walked a few guys, had some stolen bases, but he's made big pitches when he's need to. They played some good defense behind him too, and it's just a matter of us continue to try to string together good quality at bats, maybe get some free bases to help us along the way.
Likewise, on defensive end, you've been able to hold them to a few runs, but they've had some timely hits, but not all together. So, what are you going to continue to do defensively to make sure you can keep yourselves in this game as we move along?
We just got to limit free bases. Can't have so many walks. Got to make sure we handle plays defensively. They've got some really good athletes. They've got some really good team speed, and they're able to pressure our defense. And we've got to do a good job of keeping them off the bases and making them earn it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
That's Coach Henry with KSU. Guys, back to you in the booth.
That's Anthony Roman, who grounded out there to the third baseman, Daniel Moore. And Hugo Schoening now steps to the plate. He struck out in his last at-bat. Brady Bibbs doing a good job on the mound for Kentucky State.
Yeah, one of the things that he said, just Brady Bibbs right here trying to keep him off balance. I mean, for him to, like I say, throw as many pitches as he threw on Wednesday, he's not doing a bad job here, and he's kind of getting stronger as the game goes along.
He's retired 5 batters in a row here, 2 of them on strikeouts. The 1-1 to Schoening. Ball 2, so 2 balls, 1 strike.
Duval County stand up. Head coach Carlton Hardy in the house from Savannah State. You know a little bit about Savannah State baseball.
3 balls, 1 strike.
I think you called that game last year, didn't you? Edward Water, Savannah, or no? Was that you?
Yeah. That was an outstanding game. The 3-1 pitch. Called strike. Schoening has to come back. Yeah, hopefully.
Corey Bate, a fam guy's watching. I don't think you all know each other. He's a baseball guy that we know from the network.
Okay.
The network.
Gotcha. 3-2. The pitch is outside, and streak of 5 straight retired batters is now over as Schoening will take first, bringing up Adrian LaRoe, the third baseman.
Chi-Town, stand up, Miss Mary Sumter. Chicago in the house, South Side, my kind of town. You ever heard of the Chicago White Sox?
Have heard of them.
All right.
There's a ball driven high towards right. Settling in under that is Chambers, and 2 away now.
It's actually it's actually LaRoe's 24th birthday today. Shouts out to LaRoe and his family watching on the broadcast. Adrian LaRoe, 24th birthday, Miss Evelyn Marie.
Happy birthday to Adrian. John Nobles, single, RBI, and scored in his last at-bat.
See what happens when you let me get on Facebook and YouTube at the same time? I wouldn't have found out this information had you not let me log on my phone and listen to watch it, the Facebook broadcast.
You're a man of many talents, Nick Strong.
How about that, Corey Bate? It's a fam thing.
Good pitch there, and called strike.
I don't think any action on the base pass right here is necessary with Nobles being the 9-hole hitter. You got Washington on deck. I don't think you want to lead off with Nobles. You probably want to lead off with Washington just in case anything goes wrong.
Runner thought about going painted the outside part of the plate. Strike 2.
Good pitch to Still on right here, off-speed pitch. However, like I said, I don't think Shoney's going to go. But nevertheless, Nobles kind of wants to do something with 2 strikes. If you actually swing with 2 strikes, then you got to make sure you hit that second baseman, and you got to move Famble to the bag and make sure you punch it through that hole between first and second base.
Just a little correction there from what you may see on the screen. The score is actually 2-1. Edward Waters with a 2-1 lead over Kentucky State. The 1-2 with 2 outs. Outside, ball 2.
.270 Higgs representing Kentucky State in a strange way. My man.
The 2-2, swinging strike, down goes Nobles, and the side is retired. 1 runner left on base. No runs, no hits. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning for you're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Mobile banking from Truist actually works for you. It gives you simple, smart, personalized insights to keep you one step ahead. Because we think that's the kind of control you deserve over your money. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. Truist. Download the mobile app now.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Heading to the bottom of the 4th inning, Kentucky State coming to plate. Roby Shank followed by Byron Famble, and then Daniel Moore cleaning up Aram Kumar, should he get an opportunity here. We've actually got a Truist call to the bullpen here.
Yep.
As Edward Waters has a new pitcher. There's a high pop-up, foul ball actually. Nick, why don't you tell us about our new pitcher?
Well, where did my binoculars go?
Edward Waters, number 30.
It's definitely number 30 there. Number 30 for the Edward Waters Tigers is going to be Morris James, the freshman from Clewiston, Florida, out of Clewiston High School. This is his first appearance in the tournament, and he doesn't have any stats. Actually, it does. He has 1 appearance so far this season, 1 innings pitched, and 3 at-bats. If those stats are correct, this will be his 2nd appearance on the year. And what a chance to earn some stripes in the World Series matchup.
What might be the strategy here? Because, you know, Austin James, I thought pitched a pretty good game. Now, he doesn't have a lot of innings under his belt, so maybe what he's given you over the course of 3 innings is sort of his wall or sort of his limit. But, I mean, he struck out 5 batters. Only gave up 1 hit and 1 run. What might your thoughts be there?
Well, like I said, we talked about it. They just came off a CAC tournament appearance this past weekend as well. So we're not sure if he pitched in that tournament. But again, a game like today, you want to keep some fresh arms inside the contest. Your bullpen is shot. This is the end of the year. You're not going to see a complete game performance in this situation. So you come with your best and you come with fresh arms anytime you get the opportunity to. Now, also, remember, this is the second time through the order. So if you can get some fresh arms, you can make sure that you have, some opportunities to stay tight.
Fouled off.
I think Nicholas Finch has head coach Reginald Johnson downstairs. Ready to take it down to him?
All right, Coach Johnson, thank you for joining us. You got the 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the fourth. Talk about what your offense has been able to take advantage of from KSU's pitching staff.
Well, right now it's just been being able to hit our pitch, get on, get over, and get in.
Absolutely. So far we talked about the 2 runs on 3 hits. What would be really comfortable with this lead? I know it's 2-1 right now. It was a championship contest. At what point are you going to get comfortable? When the game is over?
Yes. Good thing. I spoke of it earlier. So I won't be comfortable until the end of the game.
And then final question. You're on the mound right now. What's been the strategy on the mound to keep KSU to just 1 hit so far?
Throwing multiple pitches for strikes. Locate for a strike.
Throwing pitches for strikes does get it done.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
That was Coach Johnson. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks a lot, Nick Finch. And, he mentioned it. You just talked about it. What's that pitching strategy? Well, like you said, you got to keep a fresh arm in there. You want to throw strikes. When fresh guys come in throwing strikes, that's what bullpen guys are taught to do. So when you're throwing strikes, you let these guys swing it. And, he probably feels that Kentucky State isn't the best offensive swinging team in the nation anyway. So you let the guys get themselves out. Again, as we talked about yesterday, Brian, and all week, hitting is hard. This is a sport where if you hit the ball 3 out of 10 times, you're still considered great.
Ball dribbled right back to the pitcher. James underhand tosses it to Schoening. And that is 2 away here.
That is another PFP, pitcher's field and practice opportunity. Great job right there for the pitcher to get the ball over to first base. And as you all see, for all you young kids out there watching, for all the future baseball players, it is okay to underhand the ball from the pitcher to the first baseman. You do not have to step and throw always. Any way you can get it out, get an out.
I'm glad you said that because...
Did you think he was wrong for underhanding that play?
Look, what's that meme of the guy who kind of has that I don't know, but that's what I would have given you had you tweeted that.
It's okay to underhand a baseball from the pitcher to the first base. It's okay to underhand anyway. Whenever you can get an out, it's always good, especially in a championship game like this. In the last out of a championship game and you make the most awkward out, they're not going to remember the out. They're going to remember the win and the trophy that you bring home.
Well said. Daniel Moore, third baseman at the plate here for Kentucky State with 2 outs. Kentucky State trailing 2-1 here, looking for their second hit of the contest.
Morris James kind of has that Carl Edwards look to him. Anybody know who Carl Edwards is? Just got signed by the Nationals. Used to play for a team on the north side of Chicago called the Chicago Cubs. If you follow those guys.
Somehow you strike me as a fan. The 2-1 pitch. Low, ball 3.
Well, only on Mother's Day and Father's Day. Those are the 2 times where you go to the Cubs game if you're on the south side throughout the year. You go to the White Sox. We skip school. We skip high school schools. We skip high school classes to go to the White Sox games. Did you ever do that?
Inside? No.
Did you ever skip class in high school? Oh, man, you're not a real baseball fan.
Well, 1, we didn't have baseball to skip games to go to. And secondly, I had a fear of my parents finding out, so I never skipped school. Didn't even think about it.
My grandmother told me a time where she skipped a game and she went to the Cubs game and they saw their parents or whatever it was, and they applauded the kids for being at the game during school.
Wow. So Moore is hit by the pitch there by James, and he'll take first base. And with 2 outs, Aram Kumar comes up. Kumar walked his last at-bat, found himself scoring the only run of the contest for Kentucky State back in the 3rd inning. Prior to that hit batter, Edward Waters' pitchers had retired 5 in a row.
You don't want to throw that ball away. Moore's got quick speed. He'll end up on third base if you let him.
As we think about the contrast of this game from what we had late last night in our 2 champions, I don't think we had very many streaks of 5, 6 consecutive outs last night. And here we are. Both teams have sort of had two consecutive runs of 5 or 6 batters retired.
Well, you had the Espiritu Santos. You remember he had the 5 strikeouts.
Yes.
I think that was one.
Yes,
just the one.
You're right.
Just the one. Just the one.
That was the one.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Still waiting on James to go to the plate. He does. And there's strike 1 as Kumar was showing bunt.
Now he did that last night where he showed bunt and he brought it back and he put it up the middle when Flomo ran Flomo ran the wheel. So you don't want to get too close in on this guy Kumar because he can bring that bunt back and swing it. We call that a slash. Well, some call it a slash. I'm old school. I call it fake bunt.
0-1 inside. And that would be FMU for those of you who are
Florida Memorial University. Florida Memorial University, FMU.
Moving away from the Flomo term. But Nick continues to bring it forward, so it's all good. It'll take a while. There's an off-speed pitch.
New AD down there as well. Jason Horn.
Mm-hmm. A lot of talent, a lot of excitement down there.
Yep.
2 balls, 1 strike.
He just got a new women's flag football team down there, actually.
Pitch to the plate. There's a foul ball. Souvenir for somebody.
Nice crowd here. All the suites are pretty much booked today, I see. Kids running for baseballs. Some Greeks out here. I see SG Rose over here.
Morris James has the deuces wild with 2 outs. Kumar has a runner at first. The pitch to the plate. Another foul ball, another souvenir opportunity for somebody.
And for Morris James, for this to be his 2nd appearance, I mean, he's looking pretty good here. It looks like he's going to come in and do his job if he can get this out right here.
The 2-2 pitch to Kumar. Takes ball 3 as that was low.
And Moore will be getting a quick early start here from first base. Full count, 2 outs. Again, the infield has to understand, don't forget that. Infield playing regular depth. When that first base runner takes off, you don't want to try to cover the bag or anything, just play the ball. And Moore actually end up on third base if anything happens. He should.
Full count to Kumar. Pitch to the plate. There's a pop-up. I think that's another one that's going to get into
wow.
bleachers.
That was the coolest foul ball. It kind of got stuck in between the tunnel, and it bounced off each side and then came back up top in the bleachers. Wow.
Group of young kids that are cleaning up on the foul balls right now, being hit by Kumar.
He was like one of those wall guys who kind of climb walls. That's what the ball did. He just kind of climbed the wall and came back out in the bleacher seats.
Kumar staying alive here.
I like to see Moore maybe not take a hop and instead take a straight steal.
The 3-2 pitch to the plate. Low and away, and Kumar wins that battle as he ends up on first base. Jared Pierce, the catcher, comes to the plate with 2 runners aboard and 2 outs. Pierce 0 for 1 today. Grounded out and walked. As the shadows are starting to come across the middle of the infield now.
Force play still in order for James.
Driven towards the Edward Waters bullpen, foul.
And one thing I like right here, James kind of reminds me of me, a small, deceptive type pitcher. One time when these guys come out and they see a small guy like that, they don't think he throws hard, and he doesn't. He's not lighting up the radar gun. But one thing he's going to get the hitters to do is bite on the off speed and bite on the fastball, and they're going to pull a lot of things foul. They're going to have to stay within themselves and relax and understand that this is the type of guy you got to go straight back up the middle on. Let's see if Pierce does that here. Morris James topping out right now at about 74-75.
You can see the shortstop, Schubert, trying to slide in right behind Moore. Pierce lifts the ball towards center.
There you go.
Has to take a few steps back into the shadows. Cleanly fields that ball, and that's out number 3. Kentucky State leaves 2 aboard. No runs, no hits, no errors, 2 left on base. We head to the top of the 5th inning. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
We're all about feeding your family with meat and plant-based protein that's good for the planet, good for you, and just plain good. That's all the protein you need, all on your plate.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
Meet Jessica Moore. Jessica was born to care. She always had your back. Like the time she spotted the neighbor kid, an approaching car, a puddle, and knew there was going to be a situation.
That's my best friend. She don't need no lift, drive her own car.
Miss Hogan's class? Yeah, it's Atlantis. Nice. I don't think they had camels in Atlantis.
Really? Today, she's a teammate at Truist, the bank that starts with care. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Top of the 5th inning here. Edward Waters coming to the plate, leading 2-1. It'll be the top of the order with Washington pass and Tompkins. On the rubber still for Kentucky State is Brady Bibbs. Joining us in the box right now, Mr. Jonathan Mariner, one of the Tyson Foods Board of Directors members and former CFO with Major League Baseball, if I have that correct.
You do indeed.
Wow.
All right. So obviously there's a passion for the game of baseball there. What are some of the things that came out of your time and experiences with Major League Baseball?
Gosh, there's so much I got to learn. First of all, I have to confess, I was not a baseball fan when I first got the job. In fact, my career started with the Florida Marlins as an expansion franchise. And I tell people when I interviewed for the job, if they'd asked me to name 5 players, I wouldn't have gotten the job. It was a business focus, but I've learned so much about the game. And going to New York, being part of the league office, I really enjoyed understanding, the business side of it, and relative to why I'm here today, I was part of an initiative. I oversaw diversity for MLB and was part of the initiative to try and increase the number of African American players in the game, both on the field and in the front office.
So Washington on 4 pitches draws a walk. So you mentioned that expansion year. So were you a part of the initial years, the first championship by 4?
I was, and there's the World Series ring.
Oh wow! Is that 97?
97,
Yeah,
we beat the Cleveland.
That was the Jimmy Leland year, right?
Over Cleveland.
Yep, over Cleveland.
Jimmy
7
Leland.
games. Jim Leland. Yep. 7 games.
Charles Johnson.
CJ. Yep.
Yep, absolutely. You talk about diversity. That's one of the guys who set the trailblazing paths. For African American catchers in this contest.
Absolutely. He's a good guy.
There's an amazing arc there with that organization.
Cliff Floyd, was Cliff Floyd on that team as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Chicago, Southside guy.
Yep. Gary Sheffield.
Oh man! Talk about diversity. Wow.
That was a very good team. That was an awesome team. I believe I'm trying to think who were the pitchers on that team.
Alex Fernandez. He hadn't come yet. He was on that team.
He was on that team.
Okay,
he was hurt though during the postseason.
Okay. Kevin Brown. Yeah, that's right.
Al Leiter, who still does a lot of work.
Well, he pitched forever, didn't he? Who was the closer that year for those guys?
Rob Nin.
Was it Rob Nin? Okay, he was a younger guy that year. Yeah.
Rob Nin. We we dismantled, which is a whole other story. He went to San Francisco and had a great career there, obviously.
Broke the saves record out there in San Francisco.
One of the things that
I'm sorry. Talking about closers, we got Gary Sheffield in a trade. We sent the closer for Trevor
Hoffman.
Trevor Hoffman.
That's right.
The
Padres. Yeah. I remember that.
So we've seen quite a few good closers in that.
That was at the trade deadline. Was that a trade deadline deal that year, or was that the year before?
This was just, I think, in the middle of the season. We just need more bats.
Well, that's a good bat to receive.
Oh yeah.
Brought Sheffield back home to Florida, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, his son plays at Southeastern.
Yeah, he's a Tampa guy.
And he was on. We were talking to one of our cameramen. Is from Tampa, and remember that Little League World Series team: Gary Sheffield, Ty, and Dwayne. Derek Bell. They were all on the Little League World Series team.
Okay. Well, I have to tell you too, by way of background, I'm on the board of Little League Baseball. I'm on the board now for 15 years, so I've got a connection to the game in many different ways.
Yeah. So as we, as you think about baseball and diversity, and obviously. One of the things that Michael Coker, the executive of the Black College Championships, and of course works with Black College Nines, I've learned so much about HBCU baseball, but just the impact that minorities have had in the game of baseball. It seemed like a win-win to have you here and have Tyson Foods be a part of this. As it looks like Keelan Washington's going to find his way home and extend the lead there for Edward Waters. So if you talk a little bit about the what you've seen from major league level, and then translate it to how Tyson is being involved in this effort to increase the diversity of and the outreach of baseball.
I go back, probably it may have been maybe 10 years ago now, when Bud Selig put together a task force to look at diversity in baseball, both on and off the field. I was part of that. Dave Dombrowski, actually, my former GM at the Marlins, chaired this diversity task force. And we spent a lot of time trying to understand how the numbers dropped off. There was a time, in the 70s and 80s when, probably, 20-30% of the players were black. Today it's single digits, and that was back during the time we started this task force. And there are a lot of different factors that feed into it. When you look at the game here today, even at the D1 level, there's only 11 scholarships for baseball, the D1 level. So if you're a multi-sport, black athlete looking to get a ride in a sport, baseball is not going to be the ticket. It's going to be basketball or football. You get a full ride. And so that's been one of the challenges. And at that point, we even looked at trying to work with the NCAA on a couple of programs that never got off the ground, but that's been a focus of MLB for some time. What I heard about the sponsorship for Tyson, I probably sent the press release to a couple dozen of my friends, just so proud of the company stepping up like that. And I had other plans, because this all came together pretty quickly. I had other plans this weekend, but when John Tyson reached out and mentioned me coming here, I thought I'll change my plans. This is so important.
Yeah. So Dayton Pass is now on second base after stealing second. Aquarius Tompkins at the plate here as Edward Waters looking to add to their 2-run lead here in the 5th inning.
Mr. Mariner, you talk a little bit about the diversity and everything, and that's huge in MLB, even just talking to the African American international game and everything. But talk a little bit about the RBI program, and did you have any efforts in that or anything?
Absolutely.
We had the second baseman right here, Famble. He's a Cincinnati RBI guy.
Is he? That's
Played
great.
for Roosevelt Barnes, who the Cincinnati Reds are sponsoring help sponsoring the Wilberforce University's new college baseball team upcoming.
The RBI program was started by John Young, who was a scout for the Marlins. I knew John.
Right. Okay.
He was one of our baseball scouts. He started the RBI program, and MLB, has since embraced the program. For those who don't know what it is, RBI stands for Reviving Baseball in the Inner City.
Right. Can you break that down a little bit? I mean, everybody has their own definition, but what is it? What does that really mean? Reviving baseball in the inner city.
When you think about as I've learned, especially coming out of this task force, looking at all the different ways to try and increase the numbers, there is, on the one level, I mentioned being part of Little League Baseball. That's kind of a participation baseball. You just want as many kids to play the game as possible.
Right.
Baseball knows that, people, boys and girls who play the game become fans, lifelong fans, and so just trying to build a fan base is part of it. RBI is a step further to try and increase participation, and the challenge has always been to go from getting kids to participate, teaching them the basics, but then getting them to be another level higher. If you think about Little League Baseball being participatory, you've got travel baseball where you're really talking about developing kids to be, prospects, and that's been the challenge with RBI, because if you start to get selective, all of a sudden you start losing kids.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge, though, that we've seen, and this is where RBI has been helpful, most kids of all ethnicities tend to drop out of baseball after age 12, 13. When you get to middle school, that's when you see the drop-off in participation.
Bingo.
And RBI's attempt to get these kids, to kind of keep them engaged, but the other thing that RBI can do, it provides a lot of academic support, a lot of support beyond just on the field. There's an additional initiative that MLB started back in probably the late 90s, and it's the Urban Youth Academies. And those are an attempt to go one step further than RBI, where you're really trying to teach kids not only baseball fundamentals, but the Urban Youth Academies. And I think I've lost track now. I think there may be as many as
Compton, Houston, Dallas.
I think there may be as
Miami.
many as 20 or so. Now I've lost track since I've retired from the game. But the idea there is to teach kids, both on field and off field and other baseball related activities. I know in Compton they had a groundskeeper program. They had a program to teach kids groundkeeping skills. They had umpiring. So again, just trying to get as many faces in the game, either on the field or behind the behind the scenes as possible. So between the RBI program, the Urban Youth Academies, those are really the biggest efforts MLB has made to try and just get more kids of color involved in the game.
Wow.
Leonel Garcia comes to the plate after Peyton Schubert strikes out. Previous to him, Aquarius Tompkins. So now 2 outs for Edward Waters. Brady Bibbs now having struck out 6 in the contest, but Dayton passes on second. Edward Waters looking to build on a 3-1 lead here.
And there's some, good athletes and, things in this nature. You talk about the NCAA having 11, Scott, NCAA Division I, 11.7 NCAA, we said it was last night, Brian. It was 9, I think it was.
Yeah.
NAIA, you can have 12 at the baseball level. So there is more support needed from outside. External sources, external funding, or if that's what you want to call it. And businesses, and there's going to be a breaking news for scholarships at the NCAA Division I baseball level at the end of the season. They're talking about extending it and having it as an unlimited number. We'll say some number higher than what it is now. So there's a lot of talks to help it out in certain ways, and like I say, to get the external help, whether it be from a Tyson Foods or wherever it might be, or just partnerships and things of that nature. I think that's where collegiate sports is heading, especially after the influx of the NIL deal. So why not carry it over into some of the limitations that that it may incur, from things like scholarships as well.
Yeah, I think the NILs will open up a new opportunity potentially to get more kids involved where they can afford to play.
Is that something that you all are doing as well, or have you all got into the NIL?
Not
yet.
Tyson, not yet, no. And it tends to be kind of school-driven. I was going to mention, back when Miles Brand was still head of the NCAA, that's when MLB had a series of really deep conversations about trying to find ways that MLB could, within the NCAA guidelines, provide financial support for the baseball programs. I know separately, MLB's been working with the NCAA about trying to move the College World Series to a point where it kind of coincides with the draft. I mean, at this point, things are kind of out of sync, and they're trying to sync it up so that there's more visibility at the college level, that the athletes themselves can train and feed into the draft in a way that benefits them. But the NIL opportunity to me is one place where, given the way the guidelines are slowly evolving, you could potentially put more money into the sport. The challenge was always not just the NCAA rules, but it was also Title IX. The scholarship limitations are all tied to trying to make sure there's a balance between women and men's sports, and so that's another tricky piece that you want to negotiate to make sure you're being fair for all genders.
Yeah, there's always a question, is it being, and it's not just baseball, softball. When it comes to Title IX, it's not, just the sport of you being, that was the case. There needs to be women's football. Just let people know that, it's baseball and softball don't always go together when you talk about, Title IX.
And, one other factor in terms of just visibility is the Olympics. A lot of the Olympic sports tend to drive participation at the amateur level, and there's been this ongoing challenge with the Olympics and baseball. The Olympics when baseball shut down in August, and of course you can't do that, and so that reduces the visibility. And taking it out of the Olympics, you now reduce the visibility and the potential for other kids to come through and train as Olympic athletes.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes I feel like baseball gets caught or has gotten caught about worrying about other sports calendar. And what other sports are doing, and it's like, no, we're baseball. We've been here for a long time. It's like horse racing doesn't change. I mean, it used to be baseball and horse racing. It used to be boxing. And so baseball has to get back to saying, we're going to do our calendar when we do our calendar.
Right.
We can't worry about your sport and these other sports because we are baseball. We've been around forever. We have more games. We have more opportunities. And we just have to do our schedule, and if it conflicts with someone else, tough. There's enough eyes, and I think we've hopefully should see that there's enough eyes, enough interest, that you never know, and I hope the opportunities continue to grow, especially at the collegiate level, and even, like you said, starting getting down into the high school levels, because I would like to see more high school opportunities grow, so that you mentioned clubs. And it's expensive, and that sort of takes away from kids, especially in urban, inner city, however you want to coin it, their opportunities. It's expensive.
I'll give you one other trend that from my observation, from the work that I did and from MLB, and just my own thoughts about this. Something else that impacts the players, baseball being a more popular sport. Today, unlike you go back 20, 30 years ago, especially looking at some of the black athletes that came along, most of them played multiple sports.
Bingo.
Today, you cannot. Coaches won't let you play multiple sports. You've got to make a choice, and the scholarship limitation, if you're a high school player, will push you in a certain direction. But it also affects your ability to develop the body, and I think in a
use different muscles, and that's right. Yeah, there were some issues going on back in Texas about that. Coaches, football coaches demanded their kids, only play football and not play other spring sports, or, football coaches who demanded their kids to run track and not play baseball. It was a big deal. And when we have made, strides, and as we talk about the HBCU, when we have made strides in playing two sports, we go one step backwards, when these things happen. And I just, urge that you parents out there, of kids that have multiple sports players, and, that you be the vehicle to, ensure that your kids play one sport, two sports, three sports, whatever it may be. I mean, I don't care what it is. If you just want to give them a shot, you just can't limit yourself in terms of sports world. You just can't limit yourself to one.
So true.
And one of the observations, I don't say this in any authoritative way, but just one of the anecdotal observations that we see in baseball, you see a lot more Tommy John surgeries with a lot younger kids coming up to the pros, and there's this belief that it comes from basically being overused, in high school and in college, year-round training in that one muscle group, as opposed to having time off, rotating around through sports, etc.
Well, I know one thing about parents, especially coach at the high school level. When parents get together and they want something done, it's
it'll be done.
It's 10 times out of 10. So, if you're dealing with a coach who doesn't want your son to play another sport, I'm sure there's some people you can go to, or hey, these days you can go to a different school.
I wrestled in high school. I wrestled, I played baseball, and I played chess. Those were my three sports.
Just say
I did. I knew it was. You had to have a physical for it. That makes it a sport.
We'll leave that there.
Well, so I would say that being a chess player probably made you a better wrestler.
You got to think. You got to think.
I like that.
Made me a better baseball player.
Sure.
You got to be able to think out there.
Yep. A few moves ahead.
Mr. Mariner, anything that we might not have asked you that maybe you wanted to kind of tell us about Tyson, or just your role on the board?
Yeah.
That's coming up. Nope, too high.
I would just say I'm really proud to be a member of the Tyson family, as a board member. I was, again, so pleased when I heard that they were doing the sponsorship. There's one of the young men in the PR group that worked on this I had a chance to talk to, and young African American, and the fact that Tyson kind of took the lead and just kind of followed that thread, to me it was a testament to its commitment to diversity, and trying to do what's right in the communities. So I'm really proud to be part of that.
All right. Now, Mr. Tyson gave out his work email. Anything you'd like to people want to contact and reach you? Would you like to?
Your Twitter page, your LinkedIn page, anything? I mean, how can they contact you?
Well, I tell you, it's the same Tyson email. Actually, Jonathan.Mariner at I think it's tsnbod.com.
Okay.
All right. We'll see who gets the most emails today. We'll see who wins that contest.
I'm sure John will. He's got the right last name.
You folks watching it, let these Mr. Mariner and Mr. Tyson, let them know you appreciate. Send them an email. Just let them know you appreciate their sponsorship and support, and that helps keep this thing going. And it's a big sacrifice, but it's a labor of love, because these student athletes are getting an opportunity here to end their season with a championship, and more importantly, they're being treated in a first-class fashion, playing in a great facility, and so Tyson Foods is a big reason why. So please, you guys watching us on Facebook, YouTube, wherever, send even an email, let them know, send a tweet to @Tyson Foods and just say thank you for their support. So
we're happy to do this.
Yeah.
It's a very worthy cause, and I'm happy to be here personally to be part of it.
Yeah, definitely. And you'll be here a while. I'd love to chop it up with you about the Mariners. I feel like that's a whole nother 30 for 30. We can have a 30 for 30 about the Mariners, but that's another time, another podcast, right? The Nick Strong
you mean
podcast.
the Marlins, and everyone does that, because my last name is Mariner.
Oh, that's right.
Trust me, it's happened several thousand times.
The MC, I got that right.
But I know what you meant, though.
Right,
there's a lot to be told there, too. So,
Mr. Jonathan Mariner, Board of Directors of Tyson Foods. Thank you, sir, for coming out. Appreciate
Ryan,
you.
Great to be here.
Oh, and that ball was dropped there by the left fielder. I thought he had cleanly caught that ball, and then all of a sudden he lost it. So we'll figure out what's going on here in a second. Again, thanks much to Mr. Mariner for coming and talking with us. Outstanding conversations. Folks, we appreciate you guys watching and hanging in there. I know a lot of times folks want to see what's going on. and want to hear what's going on, so we appreciate your patience. But hopefully something comes out of that, especially, opportunities there as a part of Tyson Foods' relationship with this Black College World Series. So it's considered by Higgs a double to left field. No error is ruled. It's simply a double by Collier Higgs. 1 out. Antonio Chambers at the plate for Kentucky State. Down 2 runs here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Can I have 3 seconds? Just want to say hello to Miss Valerie Crimes. That's it, on Facebook Live. She's one of our biggest fans. Well, one of my biggest fans.
All right. The 0-2 pitch by Morris James. And he wheels around and tries to keep Collier honest there at second base. Antonio Chambers 0 for 1 today, struck out and walked. The 0-2 pitch.
Wow.
Caught the outside part of the plate, and down goes Chambers.
I'm not sure why Chambers looked at that pitch right there. I mean, it was in his wheelhouse, and he's got a runner at second base. The approach right there is to score that run by any means necessary while you're a 4-hole hitter. And I think Chambers had a chance to draw in that run right there with the right fielder playing the line and that right center field gap, being wide open out there.
Adrian Thompson comes to the plate now with the runner on second. 1 swing, and we got a tie ball game here. That ball skips, gets away.
You got to cover home. You got to cover home. That ball kicked away really far there. And I'm glad that James covered home.
It is ruled a wild pitch. So Collier 90 feet away here. Let's see if Thompson can bring him home.
Sorry, not James. Morris James. Austin James is number 23. Morris James is number 30.
No more James on the roster.
Well, let's check.
Well, I should say pitching.
Let's check to see. Yeah, you're right. You're correct about that. You're right.
Clarify. Yeah, there might be a few more James on the roster.
All right, no more James on the rosters. Or no more James available to pitch or play today.
1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs. Thompson.
You got to make that play.
From third, nice play there from the third baseman, LaRoe. Moving to his left.
Happy birthday, LaRoe.
Throws over to first, and out of the inning we go. So no runs. No runs, 1 hit. Nobody, 1 left on base. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning, You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
At Tyson, we know taste is local. Some like their beef pit smoked, their chicken spiced all the way up, or their pork sweet and saucy. Local flavors, global impact. That's what feeding the world is all about.
We're opening the door to better financial services, better experiences, better partnerships, better technology, better communities, and a better future.
Five-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Here we are in the bottom or top of the 6th inning. Top of 6.
And Jalen Anderson's back on the mound.
Our truest call to the bullpen brings a new pitcher to the mound for Kentucky State. And that is number 8, Deshaun Huriskin. The 180-pound junior from Brent Harbor, Michigan. As Huriskin had a 3-4 record during the year, 6.11 ERA, started 12 of his 13 appearances this year. Led the team in innings pitched with 81 innings pitched.
Yeah, he pitched on Thursday, I think it was.
And a leadoff strikeout of Hugo Schoening.
And he's going to provide a couple of innings here for the Thoroughbreds. I'm not sure. I don't think he's going to go too long. He just pitched Thursday. He pitched about, I want to say about 7 in the 3rd maybe. I know he went pretty deep in his contest. Actually may have went the whole game.
Good job by Brady Bibbs. We closed the book on his evening.
Good 5 innings, huh?
Yeah, good 5 innings. Allowed 3 runs on 4 hits. Not sure all of them were, those 3 runs were earned. Ball driven back up the middle. Nice piece of hitting there by Adrian LaRoe.
Happy birthday, LaRoe. 24 years old. There we are. Wave. You got some camera time.
and you know me, I'm the last one that wants it.
I thought you'd be the first, man.
No.
You put your makeup on.
Because I'm wearing this loud green corporate shirt here. Does not mean I wanted to be caught on. It's all good.
I just wanted Miss Crimes to see who you are. Maybe she might become a fan of you too. I've already won her heart.
John Nobles in the box here for Edward Waters. Nobles 1 for 2 today. Scored a run, driven in a run.
Oh, wow, he's got him leaning. He got him there. Whoa. Great job by Huriskin to catch LaRoe off guard. LaRoe took a jab step towards second base, came back a little late. First base umpire says he thinks he's got it right. Good camera work by our crew out there.
Yep, ball driven foul as the young folks go chasing.
Oh, man, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people chasing for that ball.
It's a team of
wow, that's a whole Little League team.
Indeed.
We need to get him to the Little League where Mr. Mariner was just here. He said he sits in on that board as well.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
Actually, 14, 15, 16.
LaRoe over on first. That ball bounced. Nice scoop there by Thompson, excuse me.
All these T's today, huh?
We have a Thompson and a Tompkins.
And a Tyson. We got a lot of T's.
And a pair of Jameses on the mound. Do with that what you want to do, folks.
I think he takes off here.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
Good count is still on.
The pitch to Nobles. High, ball 2.
He threw the fastball. Didn't want to take off there. I like to see Harris can stay outside. Maybe stay with something off speed to try to induce the ground ball here. Maybe it's something he can roll over to the shortstop.
The 2-2 pitch to the plate, swinging, strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning by Hiriskin. And here comes the leadoff hitter for Edward Waters, Kalen Washington. Washington been very active today with 8 total bases today.
2 walks and a triple.
Back over to first base.
This would be the right time to get another extra base hit right here. You got some speed over on first with LaRoe.
Washington takes ball 1. Top of the 6th inning. There's a ball that's driven towards center. And having to take several steps back, but coming up with it cleanly was Saylor. And that's how the inning ends for Kentucky State. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Our truest call to the bullpen brings a new pitcher on the mound for Edward Waters here in the bottom of the 6th inning, their 3rd of the day. And it is number 13, Frank Grimaldi, the sophomore from Orlando, Florida, went to Freedom High School. Grimaldi on the year, 2-2 record, 13 appearances on the year through 23 innings, 9.78 ERA.
Shouts out to Miss Grimaldi. She's checking in on today's broadcast, supporting her son, number 13, Frank Grimaldi. Following up on that RBI situation, we've made a Cincinnati and Dallas RBI connect. Rest in peace to Roger B., one of the Dallas RBI legends.
Roby Schenk, the DH, comes to the plate, leading off an inning for the 3rd consecutive, or at least for the 3rd time today.
We talked about the bullpen management of both teams early on, Brian, and so far Edward Waters is now on their 3rd pitcher, and that's not a bad thing, okay, because they're in the lead right now and they're holding it down. Austin James went 3, the other James went 2, And now here comes Frank Grimaldi. He's going to come in for maybe 1 or 2 innings as well. So, good management here by Edward Waters coach Reggie Johnson. Now, with that being said, how many of the pitchers do you use, and where do you go in your situations? We shall see.
2 balls and 1 strike. Foul ball.
Going to get a foul ball one day. It's going to come right here in the booth. I see a Yankees jersey over there. Oh, my goodness. That should be banned. I see a Brooklyn Dodgers cap. I like that one. A lot of baseball fans in the house today.
Full count here for Shank.
Last year we had one of the local high school baseball coaches on. I can't remember what high school he was from, but I like to know how that team did this year. Remember, he said he had a really young team.
And there's a strikeout for Grimaldi as he got Shank to chase that pitch. Second time that Shank has struck out at the plate. And second baseman Byron Famble comes up now. Famble grounded out in his last at-bat.
Yeah, great job there by Grimaldi working Shank in and out. Here comes the man of the chat hour. There he is.
Driven to left towards the corner, and the left fielder slips on the dirt there, the change from the grass to the dirt, trying to plant his foot so he could turn and fire back towards second base, and he just slipped on it. So tough play for Aquarius Tompkins, and ends up being a double for Famble.
Yeah, good job there by the 7th hole hitter, the 8th hole hitter, Mr. Famble, 7th hole hitter, Mr. Famble, just kind of recognizing that he was able to get 2 out the box. That's a skill, again, that you have to possess. You have to understand that when you're putting the ball in certain places of the field where the defenders are not, you got to be thinking extra bases on that. Heads up play by Byron Famble.
Daniel Moore comes to the plate representing the tying run. 1 out. Score is 3-1. Edward Waters leading. Bottom of the 6th inning. There's a foul ball up the first baseline.
Famble, the transfer from Point Park University. You'll see a lot more of that moving forward into college sports. I mean, here in our area, college baseball with the transfer portal. Coaches really kind of looking for that more older, experienced athlete. They'll be looking to junior colleges. They'll be, even Mr. Tyson kind of referenced it. Some of these kids will be transferring to not necessarily higher divisions. I don't really rank a division higher than the other. It's all college baseball. You get the opportunity to play college baseball, but what happens where kids go from school to school because it may not be a good fit.
And there's an out right there in right field by Washington, but it's enough to advance Famble over to third.
Well, good job right there by Moore to put the ball in play, and that's all you can ask for in this situation. You had a runner at second. He had the right idea by trying to go down that right field line. Just dropped his shoulder a little bit too much, but at least he got the runner over from second to third. Now you got a chance to get an RBI here or maybe even a pass ball if you're Kentucky State. If you're Byron Famble on third base, you have to be ready to score on any little thing that can happen to you.
Aram Coomer in the box. He drops a ball.
I like that.
Up the first
I like
base
that.
line.
He's going to make it. He's safe. And he's going to go to second. He better get back to first.
Definitely would not expect a 2-out bunt, but a nice job by Aram Coomer to bring home Fairmont, cut the deficit in half. It's 3-2 now.
Yeah, you could call that a safety squeeze because it was a bunt, but at the same time, it was a drag down the first base line. He saw that Grimaldi's a lefty. Grimaldi leans off to the third base side once he finishes it. So what does that mean? Grimaldi has to run back towards the first base line to make that play, and too much speed from Kumar running down that first base line. Grimaldi was in no man's land. Wow, great bunt there by Kumar.
Jared Pierce now, the catcher, comes up to the plate. Flied out to center field in his last at-bat. And the toss back over to first. Pierce 0 for 2 today. Has drawn a walk.
Absolutely, Roger B. Let's see if Pierce can keep this rally going. Lefty versus lefty matchup here. I like that second baseman. Like what he's playing.
High pop-up. Let's see. That's going to stay inbounds.
I like the third baseman to get that. Yep.
LaRoe comes over and fields that cleanly. And Edward Waters gets out of the inning. But 1 run on 1 hit. 1 runner left. No errors. We head to the top of the 7th. Our score's 3-2. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival. This is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Mobile banking from Truist actually works for you. It gives you simple, smart, personalized insights to keep you one step ahead. Because we think that's the kind of control you deserve over your money. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. Truist. Download the mobile app now.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Welcome back to the Tyson Foods Black College World Series. Riverwalk Stadium, the site, Montgomery, Alabama, the city, Kentucky State, and Edward Waters University doing battle right here. The Tigers lead the Thoroughbreds from Frankfort, Kentucky, 3-2. Kentucky State all-white jersey, green trim. Edward Waters, black jersey, white pants. Here's the swing right back to Erskine. 1-3 if you're scoring at home on the ground ball by the center fielder, Dayton Pass. Nick Strong and Brian Fulford bringing you all the action. I get to bring home the action for Brian as he finally lets me get to drive the ship right now. Man, this feels great. World Series game. Thanks a lot, Brian. I appreciate it. I may not let him back in the room when he comes back. 3-2 your score. Tompkins up to bat now for the Edward Waters Tigers. Tompkins on the day 0 for 2 with the walk, 2 strikeouts in his last 2 ABs. Erskine kick 5 delivers and misses for the ball outside. Action in the bullpen by the Thoroughbreds down there. They've got somebody up. It's a righty. Looks as though the Edward Waters Tigers has an arm in the bullpen going as well. Erskine kick 5 delivers and touches the outside corner for strike 1. Well, there he is. I didn't think he was going to. I thought I locked the door, but he gets to come back and help me out. Thought I could steal one in from him. I will. I'll do it anyway. Erskine. Knee up. Here's the pitch. Foul ball back to the net. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count.
to Tompkins. Edward Waters looking for the championship here in 2022. NAIA versus NCAA, winner take all. The pitch swung on, foul to the backstop. You know, this is like what you want to see if you're a college sports fan. You know, there are about 15 national championships in college baseball. NCAA D1, D2, D3, in JCAA D1, D2, D3, CCCAA, and WAC, the junior college conferences on the West Coast. There's a ball swung going, tipped over the net. Then you got NCBA, D1, D2. Then you got USCAA, NCCAA, and it's like you want to see at the end of the year, like all these champions take on each other. But this is the only place where a NCAA champion is taking on a NAIA champion. And it's Kentucky State versus Edward Waters right here in Montgomery, Alabama. Lil Rexy, that was the question that we kind of talked about a tad bit. Nevertheless, Edward Waters is actually still NAIA. They're transitioning into NCAA D2, which they'll be next year in the SIAC conference. So, like, as Brian said earlier in the pregame, this is kind of a precursor to a new rivalry that will brew as Edward Waters steps into NCAA Division II full-time. Here's the pitch by Hursk in the 2-2. Swung on to the dugout, foul. So, hey, that's not a bad question to ask, but they're not D2 officially yet, Lil Rexy. They're still NAI. And you mentioned Jeremiah Clark, Steve Robinson, my best friend out there at Dallas Skyline. He's putting in work as well. Swinging a miss, strike three as Tompkins goes down, and that's now 3 straight strikeouts for Tompkins.
I was just going to add to what you were saying there, Nick, about the Edward Waters situation as we talked with athletic director
Edward Waters,
Dr. Paul Bryant, the other day, in that, you know, so many things are happening here with Edward Waters. Had they qualified for nationals, it would have been in the NAIA.
They did. Well, they went to the conference tournament. Yeah.
Yes, I was saying had they actually won in that conference tournament, but they went to a conference tournament in the NAIA.
Right.
As an independent.
Swing and a miss there by Peyton Schubert. On the day, Schubert 0 for 3, a fly out to third base, a fly out to center field, and he struck out in his last at bat.
And by all accounts, it sounds like Edward Waters has met or is probably on the verge having met all the requirements that they will be a full-time Division II member next year, competing for championships in all sports next year.
Yes. So, you know, by them being a dual member, and, you know, it is possible that teams can be a part of NAIA and NCAA, as well as NCAA and NCCAA or USCAA. Ground ball back to the pitcher, Herskin, making his best impression of a Randy Johnson Gold Glove impression. Wow, great job there. If you're scoring at home, 1-3. We stretch here at Riverwalk Stadium in Montgomery, Alabama. You are watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series, only on the Black College Sports Network.
We're all about feeding your family with meat and plant-based protein that's good for the planet, good for you, and just plain good. That's all the protein you need, all on your plate.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
Meet Jessica Moore. Jessica was born to care. She always had your back. Like the time she spotted the neighbor kid, an approaching car, a puddle, and knew there was going to be a situation.
That's my best friend. She don't need no lift, drive her own car.
Miss Hogan's class? Yeah, it's Atlantis. Nice. I don't think they had camels in Atlantis.
Really? Today, she's a teammate at Truist, the bank that starts with care. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Kelton Sailor leading off the bottom of the 7th inning.
He just comes back and takes over. Just comes back and take over.
Got to get some reads in here, Nick. Sponsors are all over my tail out there, and you just don't know what I have to deal with out there. I'll do it in between batters here, hopefully not to disrupt the flow of the game.
Grimaldi going strong, man. 2 good pitching performances by the whole bullpen today. That's what I like about baseball. Oh, wow.
Ball driven toward that might
drop.
No! Outstanding play by Dayton Pass.
No, you got it right. I thought you were going to do the reference you did last night.
You know what? No, because you didn't appreciate
I did. I
my
just
pass
it wasn't.
reference. He didn't let that pass by him. There you go. Let me tell the people about Tuskegee Federal Credit Union, serving the people of Macon County and surrounding areas since 1938. Tuskegee Federal Credit Union offers members free checking accounts, savings accounts. There's a ball that's driven. And another outstanding play in the outfield, that time by DeQuarius Tompkins. Look at the outfield of Edward Waters. Tuskegee Federal Credit Union offers members free checking accounts, savings accounts, home mortgages, home refinancing, automobile, signature and payday alternative loans, internet teller service, among other products and services. Better than a bank, because when you open an account with us, you become a part owner. Tuskegee Federal Credit Union, not for profit, not for charity, but for service. 304 West Montgomery Road in Tuskegee, Alabama. Call them 334-727-3180. Go to TuskegeeFCU@gmx.com.
Now they're off your tail.
Still got one more to go.
Oh boy.
As our ballot was handed to us, our superlative ballot, we have to start thinking about MVP, most outstanding pitcher, so on and so forth of the game.
Read the guidelines on that.
And there's a strikeout to end the side. We'll do that in the break. Our score is 3-2. We head to the top of the 8th inning. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
We know taste is local. Some like their beef pit smoked, their chicken spiced all the way up, or their pork sweet and saucy. Local flavors, global impact. That's what feeding the world is all about.
We're opening the door to better financial services, better experiences, better partnerships, better technology, better communities, and a better future.
Five-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Well, we head to the top of the 8th. They're doing the butt in the stands. And it's a 3-2 ball game. It's an HBCU baseball atmosphere here at Riverwalk Stadium here in Montgomery, Alabama. Stepping into the batter's box for Edward Waters, Leonel Garcia facing Deshaun Hurricane.
He kind of has like a funky 3/4 like slot, sidearm type slot.
You know, we've seen a lot of baseball, and it's been offensive heavy, to say the least. And it seems kind of fitting here as that ball is grounded. Coming over to his left, the third baseman tosses over to first. Nice, easy 5-3 there from Moore to Thompson.
Moore's going to be my vote at third base for all tournament team. I mean, I thought he's had a really good tournament playing third base. He's one of the best we've seen.
Anthony Roman, the catcher, comes to the plate. Big cut there by Roman. Hurricane delivers another good pitch, strike 2. Bit outside, ball 1. One ball, 2 strikes to Roman. A little off speed, fouls off towards the Kentucky State bullpen area.
Yeah, Hurricane, already pitched in the game, Thursday, coming back on 1 day's rest. I mean, he's looking real sharp. And I mean, usually a pitcher gets about maybe 4 days between a start, but usually that second day is almost time for a bullpen. So this is kind of like his bullpen day anyway. So I mean, that's why he's looking so sharp in these 2 innings that he's pitching in. Edward Waters fans saying 2 more innings. E-Dub. The pitch from Hurricane.
Ball in the dirt, gets away, but no runners on, so no harm, no foul. And the performance you're talking about for Hurricane is against Bluefield State, where he threw 7 in the 3rd innings, only allowed one earned run, struck out 11 batters. There's a ball that's hit towards the second baseman, and fielding that cleanly is Famble over to Thompson, and 2 away.
Yeah, great job right there by Famble. Wanted to make sure you get the out right there. We've seen some stages where this is about the innings, where these kids, these athletes, tend to kind of get a little tired out there and fatigue and not make plays later on in the contest. So, for them to start the 7th inning by everybody making plays, this is where you want to be if you're Coach Henry and if you're Coach Johnson.
7 consecutive batters have been retired now. Edward Waters, and of course that's
Montez stepping in the batter's box now.
That's a pitching change as Montez has played first base for much of this week, and he'll come in for Hugo Schoening. And it'll be an easy transition for Montez to move over to first base where he's been playing.
Schoening not having a good day, 0 for 2 at the plate with the walk. Got to have some offense in this position. Reggie Johnson saving Montez some fresh legs for later in the contest today, and hopefully he can get, a 2-out rally going on for his team.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Tried to catch the outside part of the plate. So Huriskin now. Deuces are wild, 2-2 with 2 outs. Driven right back at the shortstop.
He's got to make that
Loves
play.
it. Makes the play on
Oh,
the
my
first.
goodness.
Beautiful job by Kumar. And defense. So another outstanding play. No runs, no hits. Nobody left on the base path. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
This is Ryan Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Our truest call to the bullpen brings in a new pitcher for Edward Waters, and it is Cameron Chastain here in the bottom of the 8th inning. We saw Cameron late last night as he closed the ball game out for Edward Waters, only pitching 1 inning, struck out 1, walked 1, faced 4 batters.
And Chastain comes in starting off with strikes. That's what everybody likes to see here when your bullpen guys can come in throwing strikes. Edward Waters also has a guy in the bullpen right now as well, so you got to understand, or we got to wonder, is Chastain going to ready to close this game out, or is he just in there for the setup?
Adrian Thompson now with an opportunity to lead off an inning instead of closing out an inning, as he's done his 3 previous at-bats. 0 for 3 on the day. And at this point in the ball game, the coaches are going to probably unload any and everybody who's available. There's a ball that's hit right over.
He might get him at first base. He got to play.
No,
did he get him?
No way. Come on, Thompson. Can't allow that to happen. I know he's a big guy, but man.
I would throw you out at first base if you got a hit to me in right field.
Yes.
I would throw you out.
Yes.
I'd throw you out from anywhere. I'd strike you out too, by the way.
Such confidence. So Thompson representing the tying run on first. Pinch hitter for Byron Famble steps in the box for Kentucky State. It's Josh Graves. Graves, a senior from Springfield, Kentucky.
So this is going to be for Shank, actually. And
correct. Yes, I'm sorry.
And
yes,
Josh Graves actually pitched for as well.
DH
so he's
position,
so he's a two-way guy. He's a hitter as well as pitcher. He's in there to swing it. This is, you want to get Thompson over to second. So, if you don't bunt him, you got to be able to swing it. Middle infield playing up the middle, they'll play depth. Second baseman towards the bag, so you got first and second base open. Here's a swing and a miss.
Beautiful cut by Graves. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of batting history here for Graves, so he's only had 7 at-bats this season.
I mean, I'm not sure the strategy here by bringing this guy in for 7 at-bats on the season in a tight situation. I mean, I think you get this runner over to second. I know Thompson's not the fastest guy.
Full count here. And maybe that's why you have him for that, play discipline.
Discipline.
Yeah, he's able to get on base as a walk. I might have a courtesy runner here for him.
No courtesy runner in NCAA baseball. You're going to have to go pinch runner if you want to score that run. He's the winning run right now. The runner at second base is the tying run. The go-ahead run is the run at first base. Now, Coach Henry's talking to Famble right now. You know, maybe he's telling him, maybe he's playing for the 2. We talked about it earlier. You know, sometimes you play for the 1, sometimes you play for the 2. You know, so right now, Coach Henry was playing for the – he definitely wasn't playing for the 1. Let's see if he's playing for the 2 here. That'll bring out Coach Johnson from Edward Waters. Now, not sure if he's going to go to the bullpen, but he's definitely going to talk about it with his team. He saw Coach Henry talk about it with Famble. Coach Johnson's going to come out and maybe kind of counter whatever he thinks Coach Henry told him to do. So maybe he's swinging, maybe he's slashing. Remember, they went to the slash last night with Kumar. Okay, they showed bunt, brought it back, and they swung. Now at this point, if you're Famble, do you lay the bunt down, or do you also, if you see the Tigers running a wheel play here, do you bring that bat back and do you slash and swing it as well? So a lot of options here for thoroughbreds.
One thing I haven't heard you mention, Nick,
and I've mentioned a lot.
You have, but the base runners themselves. Gotcha. These are not speed guys on the base path for Kentucky State. So you talk about what you're going to do. Laying a bunt down when you don't have speed guys seems risky.
Yeah, it seems very risky, but that's why you got to get some extra leads on the base paths, and also you got to watch the defense. What are they doing? So if you see the defense moving over already, then that's maybe when you bring the bat back and you slap it and you try to put it through the infield. Let's see what happens here. The infield's playing normal. There's the bunt, shows bunt. First baseman came in, shortstop went to second baseman covered first, and the third baseman stayed home at third base. So as long as you don't see that shortstop running over to third base, I think you got a shot at laying a bunt down here.
First pitch by Cameron Chastain.
Let's see if Famble shows it. There it is. He shows it, and he leaves it alone, leaves it high. Now, if you're Chastain, you got to throw a strike. Okay, you can't, they don't bunt balls. If you're giving up, if you see a team that wants to give you an out, you've got to be able to throw a strike towards the bat.
2 balls, no strike to Byron Famble.
Watch Famble's hands here. There's the hands. There's the bunt.
Drops
right back to third base.
To the pitcher going over
Got
to
him.
third.
There you is. You're right, Brian. Thompson did not get a good lead on that, and he did not get over to third base too quick.
Yeah, if you're not going to pinch run for Thompson, I don't understand the decision to bunt, giving who's at second base. Again, not a speed guy. That's all. So,
you're right.
Still at first and second.
You got one this weekend.
I got one. Yeah, I got one.
Need to celebrate.
No,
but maybe Moore comes back with a bunt here, or maybe he doesn't. Maybe they go double steal. Maybe they go hit and run. Maybe they open up the playbook here.
Is at second.
He's swinging away.
Moore swinging away. I prefer the idea of him swinging away. So Graves is on second. Famble on first. The 0-1 pitch, outside and away.
You don't want to miss the opportunity right here with the thoroughbreds. No outs, runners ready first and second. You have to make sure you score a run right here. You got Moore at the box.
Big cut there by Moore. Late on that one, and so now it's a 1-2 count here for Chastain.
You don't want to do too much here. A hit ties the game right here. If you just put in the play, put in the outfield, you could tie it up.
Which is a little high.
Well, you definitely don't want to swing at that.
You know, and I don't know about Graves' speed. Graves doesn't look like he's much of a runner.
What I would do, I mean, and I'm not the coach, but
see a big lead off.
Well, this is the 8th inning. I mean, so Graves is probably not going to get a bat again. So maybe you go speed guy at second base right now.
There's been no pinch runner.
I see that.
So, and it makes you wonder, with Graves there, will he be coming in the pitch?
Maybe. So maybe he's saving him the pitch. Good idea. Good thoughts. Or he can keep. Or you don't want to substitute out any pitching. But he did pitch twice yesterday.
The full count, fouled off. Daniel Moore staying in there, battling.
So many scenarios you can do right here. I mean, this is baseball. This is a thinking man's game. However, third baseman all the way back on the edge of the grass. I wouldn't mind a drag bunt if you could. I'm just saying, just me. Maybe we'll get the YouTube tutorial from Jeremiah Clark next week.
Full count pitch. Outside, bases are loaded now.
Good. Now you get second life. This is what you want. It's runners at second and third. Then you get the bonus with a runner at first base right here.
Aram Kumar comes to the plate now.
Makes you look good. And to go along with that, had you got the runners over from first to second to third, sometimes coaches don't mind walking that guy at first, or excuse me, in the batter's box, so that you can have the double play in order right here. So with Kumar at the plate, I don't know if you squeeze, look, watch his hands. Watch the way Kumar's hands are. And look at Graves at third base. Kumar's already 1 for 1 on the day. And that's a high pitch. Catcher's going to have to go talk to him. Edward Waters is going to go corners in here. Third baseman on the dirt, actually, even with the bag. First baseman on the edge of the grass. There's a strike. Good job. I like the double play depth at the middle. And in the outfield, the outfielders are playing straight up. Right back to the pitcher. Might get a double play. Oh, he got the bag! Wow, what a play!
Tremendous double play there for Edward Waters, and they get out of the inning without surrendering the tying run. Leave 3 runners on the base paths, and we head to the top of the 9th inning. The Tigers with a 3-2 lead. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Mobile banking from Truist actually works for you. It gives you simple, smart, personalized insights to keep you one step ahead. Because we think that's the kind of control you deserve over your money. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. Truist. Download the mobile app now.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
We head to the top of the 9th inning. Edward Waters with a 3-2 lead. Coming to the plate for Edward Waters, Adrian LaRoe, followed by John Nobles and Keelan Washington. Nick what did we see there at the end of that last inning?
You saw just baseball. I mean, that's the way the cookie crumbles. There was a good hit by Kumar. The pitcher tried to snap it, and the shortstop happened to come across, and at the same time, where he met the ball is where the bag was. So all he had to do was step on the bag. He nicked the bag by a nick, and he was able to get the runner out at first base, and he saved the possible 2 runs there for the Kentucky State Thoroughbreds. Excuse me, for the Edward Waters Tigers. Great job there by the shortstop, Peyton Schubert.
Deshaun Hiriskin still on the mound for Kentucky State. You guys watching us on YouTube and Facebook, make sure to get those likes up, hit the thumbs up button. Let people know. Go ahead and share now. We're going to crown a champion here pretty soon, and this is the 9th inning. Of course, who knows? Will Edward Waters, last night Edward Waters got an insurance run in the top of the 9th inning, which turned out to benefit them in a 1-run win, as Florida Memorial ended up getting a run or 2 in the bottom half of the inning. Let's see if Edward Waters goes after that insurance run again here today. And down goes LaRoe on strikes. First out, strikeout. And John Nobles comes to the plate. He struck out his last 2 at-bats. Keelan Washington is on deck.
Peyton Schubert has made some awesome plays this tournament at shortstop. I mean, I just can't get enough of that. That's got to be a heartbreaker for the Thoroughbreds. A momentum builder here for the Tigers. And if they can feed off that defensive play and maybe score 1 run, maybe 2 right here, you may have a new Black College national champion.
One ball and 1 strike to Nobles. Nine consecutive EWU batters have gone down here.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I mean, all this going on. And like you say, luckily, Edward Waters took the lead early on. They never looked back because their last 3 innings worth of their bats have not been great.
The advantage of being at the top of the lineup is just one of those things here over these last 2 to 3 games that has really benefited the winning team. 3 balls and 1 strike. The pitch to Nobles. High pop up. It might be foul. Looks like it will be. And it lands, as you can see it. There you go.
That was a good catch. And this game is 2 hours and 45 minutes so far. We're right on time, right on pace for about a 3-hour game. 3 innings per hour.
The 3-2 pitch to Nobles.
Good pitch.
10th consecutive batter retired, and that's the 3rd consecutive strikeout by Nobles. The one guy whose bat really hasn't gone cold is Keelan Washington, although he flew out to the center fielder his last at bat. And he comes to the plate with 2 outs.
It's been a good music selection here by the DJ today.
Keelan takes the first pitch. It's called a ball.
Washington's probably my vote for player of the night tonight.
Right at the second baseman. Cleanly scooped and thrown
Here we go.
there. Famble throws out Washington, and that is 11 retired. But we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Edward Waters 3 outs away from claiming a national championship. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network. Okay, got to read. Last time Edward Waters won a national championship was called to the bullpen here. Somebody's coming in. Who's coming in here? to close the game out.
3 or 2? Three.
We've seen him before. That number sounds familiar. I think that's the young guy.
Caden Hutchinson.
Our truest call to the bullpen brings out Caden Hutchinson, the freshman from Brunswick, Georgia, on the mound to close out the ball game for Edward Waters. 3 outs away from winning their first HBCU national championship in baseball since 2011. They were crowned the Division II and NAIA national champions by Black College Nines back in 2011. And it's been over a decade, but on the field, that's how it'll be settled here. Edward Waters, if they can close this game out.
Yeah, you got the closer coming in for the save opportunity, and you know what better situation to be in if you're a young pitcher, you know, playing in a national championship. You know, I was a closer, Brian, and you know one of the things that I prided myself on was coming in, throwing strikes, but also coming in and closing games. Looking up to guys like Mariano Rivera. We talked to Mr. Mariner earlier. He said he had guys like Rob Nin, you know, guys in the bullpen, guys who can get the job done. Lee Smith, you remember a lot about that guy. You know, so, you know, look at this guy Hutchinson to come in and just put it all on the line right here for the close, for the save.
Top of the lineup for Kentucky State, Jared Pierce, Kelton Saylor, Collier Higgs. On deck will be Antonio Chambers. Oh, outside part of the plate, strike one.
Look at the greatness right here. What a game.
High. Ball one.
Thanks for all the fan support, everybody watching. The fans in the Facebook chat, the YouTube chat. Had I not got on my phone when Brian told me not to, I wouldn't be able to shout out the Facebook fans.
Beautiful pitch there by Hutchinson, strike two. Tying run here at the plate is Jared Pierce. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Outside, ball 2.
Want to shout out to the Pierce family, always watching and supporting the broadcast. Don't be a stranger after the season is over.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Look for something in the dirt right here.
Foul ball. Towards the Cabanas.
Benton Harbor, Michigan, stand up.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Hutchinson battling Jared Pierce. The pitch. Foul ball coming our way. A little farther into the sweet areas.
I never understood why people get out the way of a fly ball.
Well, if they don't have a glove and you're theoretically not ready for it, it would make sense to get out of the way. Pierce staying alive here, facing a 2-2.
There it is. Oh, my goodness.
Above our head.
10 feet above me.
Yeah, well,
10 feet above me.
Yeah, a little more than 10, but
well,
our direction.
12 at least, at the most.
Jared Pierce fighting, trying to stay alive by any means necessary here. Hutchinson throwing strikes. He likes what he got from the catcher, comes to the plate. It's high though. Full count. As you can tell, our dignitaries and other important people are gathering up with trophies in hand, you know, All of that good stuff here. There's a ball that's driven to right. Will it drop? No. Keelan Washington coming in to make the play. One away.
Great job there by Washington to make sure that he was all over that, understanding that Pierce has been, not the best hitter today, but he's been hitting shots in the air. So when you got a guy that's been putting the ball in the air 2 straight times, you have to take an extra, what we call drop step, when you're getting ready. You got to be able to come in and defend that. Great job there by Washington in the outfield.
Kelton Saylor comes to the plate. He has had a good series. Maybe not the greatest of days, but he's had a good series. He's 1 for 3 today. Walked once. Representing the tying run. Takes the first pitch high. Both dugouts are up on the rails. Ball is fouled. Left field.
Oh, what a catch. Wow.
1 ball and 1 strike. 1 ball and 1 strike by Hutchinson. Kelton Saylor, the center fielder.
Good pitch.
Takes that pitch. Strike.
Actually, that was strike 2.
Strike 2. I think the catcher thought it was.
It looked like a strike 3 pitch.
It did. It did. I think the catcher thought it was strike 3. Unless he's got the yips all of a sudden.
Well, I mean, you might.
1-2.
That's Roman.
Mike Hutchinson has come in and thrown strikes. Coach Reginald Johnson getting great performances here by his pitchers. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Ball driven towards center. Selling in under that is pass, and that's 2 away.
Good job by Dayton Pass to recognize first step back and make sure he got on the out.
Tuskegee Federal Credit Union, serving the people of Macon County and surrounding areas since 1938. Make sure Tuskegee Federal Credit Union offers members free checking accounts, saving accounts, home mortgages, home refinancing, automobile signature and payday alternative loans, internet teller service, among other products and services. Better than a bank, because when you open an account with us, you become a part owner. Tuskegee Federal Credit Union, not for profit, not for charity, but for service. Make sure to reach out to Tuskegee Federal Credit Union, www.tuskegeefcu@gmx.com, 304 West Montgomery Road, Tuskegee, Alabama, 334-727-3180. Collier Higgs, the tying run. He's ahead now. 2-0 is the count.
Hello to Mr. Joshua Jackson. Always checking out the broadcast.
You can see the Edward Waters team up on the rail, anticipating if Hutchinson can close it out.
Oh, boy.
And 3-0 now.
This is where it gets good.
On deck is the winning run in Antonio Chambers, but more importantly, Higgs, the team's leading hitter, needs to get on base. The 3-0.
Don't swing. Don't swing.
Takes that pitch.
I think I'm taking 3-1 as well. I'm taking all the way right here. I'm taking all the way.
Be mad.
I'm taking all the way. I'm gonna be a team player and get on base by any means necessary.
The 3-1 pitch.
Oh my goodness! Oh wow!
Right. Washington's going to settle. He says he has it. The ball is going to land in his glove, and that is the ball game. The Edward Waters University Tigers are the 2022 Tyson Foods Black College World Series champions and the HBCU national champions. Congratulations to Coach Reginald Johnson II, bringing Edward Waters their second Black College Baseball National Championship. the first since 2011. 11 years later, this is what Coach Johnson has been building over the past 11 years in Duval County. Congratulations to Kentucky State University on a great season. And it just adds to the beautiful rivalry that you will have in the SIAC come next season, as these two teams will be conference opponents next year. Before we head down to our on-field presentations, my friend, another Black College World Series comes to an end. What are your thoughts as you watch Edward Waters celebrate, and obviously the sadness and disappointment for Kentucky State?
You know, you got to wonder, man. You know, that's why teams play the game. You know, there were 8 teams in this field. You know, tournament play is about getting there and showing what you have, the will of a champion to continue to win. You know, you can only play the schedule that's in front of you to get there. And the schedule that these guys played this year, I mean, this is for them. You know, Coach Johnson is a really good guy. Like you said, he's been building this for a while. He's been doing what he's supposed to do. You know, you treat the game right. You know, you do certain things. I'm very happy for Coach Johnson in this moment as they transition into the NCAA Division II, into the SIAC, because, you know, you see things like this. You know, you always hear like teams aren't ready, teams can't compete. This is an NAIA moment, you know. An NAIA team beating the NCAA team, not taking anything away from Kentucky State, but this is why you play the game. Anything is possible in this game of baseball. I mean, we've seen things happen, and I'm proud of these guys right here for winning this contest today.
And congratulations, Dr. Paul Bryant and President Dr. A. Zachary Faison. Let's go down to Nicholas Finch, who's with the head coach, Reginald Johnson II. Nick, take it away, sir.
On the win, it was a tough one. You got the 3 runs, and you had to watch them as they couldn't come anymore. You got to get this victory tonight.
Hey man, I said earlier, I wasn't gonna be okay with the lead until the game was over, and hey man, just happy that we're able to pull it out, and just kudos to the 2 freshmen. We had a freshman close it out last night, and a freshman close it out tonight. Hey man, the future's bright in Edward Waters. Future's bright.
Speaking of the future, before you're the team that's going from NAIA transitioning to the SIAC in Division II. Talk about how important this win was, not only to win the Tyson Foods Black College World Series, but to do it against a future conference opponent.
I mean, like I said, you know, we just want to, you know, continue to do what we're doing and growing. You know, the institution is growing tremendously. Just want contribute to a conference that is growing as well, and doing great things, great things. Just happy to have that opportunity and excited for the
national champion coaches. It's on your resume now. How does that feel?
Hey man, it feels good. Once again, kudos to the administration for their support. For all the work that they've done. The players, man.
that got it done. They deserve all the glory. You know, it's their work and their execution that got this done.
Coach, let's celebrate with your team. All right, guys, back to y'all up top.
We just talked about it. You're right, Brian. You know, he just said the transitioning, you know, from NAIA into NCAA D2. It's a work of the university. You know, we interviewed the AD on here yesterday, and he just mentioned all the good things that are happening there at Edward Waters.
Yeah, as I said, congratulations to Dr. A. Zachary Faison, Dr. Paul Bryant, Coach Johnson. See if we can pick up audio here of what we have happening down on the field.
Also want to thank our Chamber of Commerce, who has been extremely helpful. I want to thank all of our sponsors, especially Tyson, but also Truth Bank, who helped put up financial literacy classes.
Oh, I hear him.
And I also want to thank the Montgomery business, the Riverwalk Stadium. The Riverwalk Stadium is being gracious, so please give them a hand.
No, he has a separate microphone so they can hear what's happening.
At this time, I'm going to turn it over.
Executive Director of Black College Championships.
Hello. Wasn't this a great tournament? Wasn't this a great game? Give a hand to Edward Waters University and Kentucky State for playing an excellent game. We would also like to thank their institutions, their presidents, for allowing them to make this trip down to Montgomery, because we want to make sure that the World Series returns back to Riverwalk Stadium in Montgomery. The only way we can do that is with the support of the local municipalities, the local support of you, the fans, so that we can get these teams back down here in 2023. God bless you all, and go Edward Waters.
Let me get a 2 claps and eat, y'all!
Of Major League Baseball, and Eric Musselman, the head men's basketball coach of the University of Arkansas, who will now present with the 2022 Tyson Food Black College World Series Trophy.
I don't know the
So, thank you to the city of Montgomery, thank you to historical black colleges for letting us.
It said coach's name. I don't fucking know the coach's
On
name.
behalf of 140,000 team members who make my job easy.
Insert
every
coach
day,
name. I don't know the fucking coach name.
We're honored to be a partner. We're honored to be in the city of Montgomery. Mayor, thank you for having us here.
I don't like having this on.
We're here. Some people want a championship trophy, don't they? All right. So, to the winners, EWU, congratulations. Coach, come on up.
I don't know what it was, but the fact that he's standing right there.
Fuck it.
I don't. Special message from the city of Montgomery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he'll be fine back there.
Most Outstanding Pitcher Trophy, head coach of Arkansas men's basketball, Eric Musselman.
It's not on my script.
Congratulations to Kentucky, to Deshaun Hurricanes. Kentucky State.
From Kentucky State, Deshaun
One of the most difficult positions to play. Pressure every night out. Congratulations.
And now, to present the Most Outstanding Player Trophy, please welcome John Mariner. Ladies and gentlemen, let's please welcome head coach of Edward Waters University, Reginald A. Johnson II.
It's Edward Waters College. It's Edward Waters College. It's not University College. Fuck me, right?
I think so. I have no idea.
All right, we apologize for any any language. Sometimes when we're trying to pick up these kind of things, when folks aren't always sure that they're a mic or they're near a hot mic, so we apologize for any language you might have heard, but we wanted to try to bring the post-game acknowledgments there. Of course, as you saw, the most outstanding pitcher was Deshaun Hurricane of Kentucky State, and our most valuable player was none other than Keelan Washington of Edward Waters University. And of course, again, you saw Coach Johnson got a little ice bucket bath there, and Coach Johnson bringing again Edward Waters their second Black College National Championship, first since 2011, and what an awesome moment. So I know there'll be a big celebration in Duval County in Jacksonville, Florida, when the boys come home. I know good friend Joshua Jackson will be a part of making sure that those guys are taken care of as he takes care of everybody over at EW. And congratulations again. Can't say it enough. Having gotten the chance to know this program and seeing what they're building and seeing where they're at now, I got a little chill there, Nick. It's good to, Florida actually came through, and one time for the state of Florida coming through. And so as you heard in the interview, Coach Johnson, he's got young pitchers that played they pitched their tail off today when it mattered the most. And again, 3-2 ball game, Nick, and we've seen offense for days.
Right.
And I'm thinking, you might expect that when you've seen offense all week, that here in the championship you'd expect to see no. We saw good pitching. We saw at one point Edward Waters, they had 11 straight retired. It really was a case of who got on the board first, early, and that was what happened. Edward Waters got on the board early scoring 2 runs in the top of the second. Kentucky State left a couple of opportunities on. They scored a run in the bottom of the third. Edward Waters came back with a run in the top of the fifth. Bottom of the sixth, Kentucky State answered and just weren't able to get that extra run. I mean, both teams had 5 hits. Both teams had 1 error. Kentucky State left 10 on the base pads. Edward Waters left 7. That's going to do it for this show. I think we got all of our reads in. Did I get all the reads in?
Yeah, you got a lot in.
You think I got them all in? Okay, just checking. Again, we want to thank all of our sponsors, especially Tyson Foods, for everything that they've contributed to be a part of this. All of our sponsors, our advertisers that you saw during the commercials and our reads, they're all a part of making this happen. And so the opportunities will be plenty for others, other companies, if you're interested in being a part of the 2023 Tyson Foods Black College World Series. We look forward to it being here in Montgomery, Alabama again. And the dates, will probably be sometime mid-May again.
Yeah.
And we'll, again, do it. They'll make little tweaks, I'm sure, to the format. But from all I've heard good things from all of the coaches. And so, unfortunately, for all of these teams, this ends their season. Nobody's playing in the national tournaments, NAIA or NCAA, after this. So this was it. And so a heck of a way to close the season. Nick, any final thoughts or words from you?
Yeah, man. Congratulations to E-Dub. Congratulations to Kentucky State. Another one in the books for us. 2 years in a row.
Yes, sir.
2 years in a row. And, we continue to look forward to others and, different black college postseason opportunities. It kind of started with football a little bit, kind of reached off into basketball and, now into the sport of baseball where, you can have a postseason for those who don't make the, NCAA or NAIA or whatever organization that you're in, that tournament. So, shouts out to guys, like you said, from Michael Coker, A.D. Drew, everybody who put this together for, the best, we'll just say the best 8 black college baseball teams that are available at this time.
Mm-hmm. Make sure to follow the Black College Sports Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at MyBCSN1, the number 1. Make sure to like and subscribe our Facebook and YouTube feeds here. Make sure to share with your family and friends. Maybe they didn't get a chance to see it live, but they can certainly see it again on replay. Make sure to download the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Go to your Google or Apple Play Store. Just search MyJBN, MyBCSN, the Black College Sports Network. Outside of hosting live events like this, run a host of shows during the course of the week, all centered around HBCU, the diaspora, as we like to call it. Some specifically targeted towards schools, some just covering news and notes from across the landscape. So a lot of opportunities to be a part of what we are doing, and we want to thank all of you who have watched on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you've consumed the websites. It's much appreciated. Go let our advertisers know you appreciate them. If you enjoyed this broadcast as much as we want you to join, like, and subscribe, we want you to go and give a word to the good folks of Tyson and all the other advertisers. I want to give good friend Nicholas Finch here an opportunity to get a final word in. Nick, good job down there. Any final words or thoughts you'd like to put on this tournament, as you've called several of these games as well, along with Nick and I?
Absolutely. I just wanted to say thank you to Tyson Foods for sponsoring the Black College World Series. This has been a phenomenal event here in Montgomery. I've re-fallen in love with the city. The stadium has been awesome. The people have been awesome. Everybody who's helped with this event have simply been amazing. And congrats to Edward Waters, man. There's been times where it looked like that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And they found a way to keep on persevering, keep on pulling through to get the victory. And Kentucky State, no slouches today. Phenomenal work by them as well.
Well said. Thank you to our team of camera operators and our producer director tonight, Melody Lucas, did a great job with the team. Thanks to all the volunteers that made it possible, and especially to our big boss, Mr. Roy Evans, and of course the Black College Championships team headed up by Mr. Michael Coker of blackcollege9s.com. Make sure to follow them as well on Twitter. HBCU9s, blackcollege9s.com is where you can find them. That's it, folks. So for all of us from the Black College Sports Network and blackcollegechampionships.com, we thank you and say congratulations to Edward Waters University Tigers,